Doom-made man and Doom boy, where are you? That's what I got for y'all tonight, folks. Hi, welcome back to the Crash Icarus experience, I guess. I feel like that's a dirty sentence to say nowadays. We're here. Me and Grim are here. About to be playing some TNT Evilution. For anyone new, I'm single player. Grim is co-commentating to help keep things a little fresh. Say hi.
And apparently portraitless now, according to the stream setup. Oops.
Wait, what? Oh, you're invisible. Let me see. Where's that?
My image is not on the
there it is.
Setup.
All right.
Oh, there we go.
So there's so many buttons to press in setting this up. There's like at least 11, maybe 12 things. Oh, and that's the Mega Man set of characters. Let's just sweep those guys up. Okay, there we go.
We're both really out of it today, huh?
Yeah, both of us are kind of having not so great days, but we don't have to get into that.
Hopefully
yeah.
TNT will help with that.
Being able to take down some demons will be therapeutic, I think.
Because usually it's the opposite. TNT actually ends up making my day worse. But like, in this case, the opposite.
Every once in a while, even the most infuriating piece of software can save you a little bit. Oh yeah, and actually sweet, good music too.
Oh yeah, today is Map 8 Metal, which has Into the Beast, Belly of the Beast, which is the song that everyone remembers from TNT Evilution. Well, it probably helps that it also gets used like 4 separate times in this WAD, so...
4 times for a 32 map WAD is kind of a small amount, relatively speaking.
I mean, it's a lot more common than you'd expect. I mean, that song that played in Map 6, that's the only time that song appears in the entire WAD, so...
Oh, Wouldn't have even noticed. Oh, wow. I actually died that fast? Shit,
Oh,
okay.
yeah, no. This is, the hit scan definitely starts to increase.
Yeah, I noticed I was kind of getting back shots from the chain gunner there, and I was like, oh, well, you know, maybe I just stuck in. Maybe I didn't take that much damage. You heard me. You know exactly what I said. And I meant every single syllable of it.
Yeah, but yeah, this is when the hit scan definitely starts to get quite numerous.
A little bit funny, silly perhaps.
Yeah. Well, we'll wait till next map. A map that was so infamous for the amount of hit scan it had, it didn't get it wasn't able to be beaten on Nightmare until I think like 14 years after release. So.
Ah. Pretty crazy reputation.
Yeah, that's gonna be fun.
And I didn't trigger the chain gunner this time? Strange.
I believe he gets triggered when you walk up the stairs.
Oh, I didn't. Well, that's weird. I could have sworn he was shooting at me before I even got in the room. Oh, another chain gunner, I think. Just felt one.
Oh, yeah, it's the best combination. Copious amounts of hit scan and not being able to fucking see. Also the Spectre.
Alright, maybe we'll start in a different hallway. Okay. Well, on topics of conversation, how about a stupid one to start things off? Back to the whole Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy joke. How well do you think that they would fare within the catacombs of Doom? How about let's just start with the original, original Doom. How well do you think?
Dead to first imp, probably.
Really? You don't think that they'd be able to bring out any of their superpowers? I mean, I know that they're geriatric.
What superpowers do they have exactly? Because as far as I remember, they just kind of run around in their underwear. That's about it.
Don't all superheroes? I'm pretty sure...
I mean, true, but most of them have powers.
Barnacle Boy does have heat vision. So he does have that to summon lasers out of his eyes. So that's something. And Mermaid Man also does have the ability to throw water balls at people. Maybe the water balls are gonna, be like imp projectiles. They'll have imp projectile damage.
Okay, well, I guess the better question is, are we talking about, like modern Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy, or are we talking about, like, peak Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy?
Let's start with modern, and then maybe we can discuss the, them at their prime.
Modern would absolutely not make it past the 1M1. Peak would probably get to E1 and 3 and then get completely bodied.
I think that the modern versions of them could at least make it to E1M1, or make it through E1M1. It's not a very challenging map, and
yeah, maybe I'm too young to die. Maybe.
yeah. Well, I'll give them that much credit. I think that they've got, you know, at least a little bit left in the chamber to do something unexpected.
No, I always find it weird that this map is named Metal, even though like the majority of this map is like a sewer catacomb section.
Yeah, it is kind of very odd. Especially considering most of the most Doom mods are actually pretty good at staying faithful to their names. I haven't noticed any that are just like wildly, you know, I want to say inappropriate, but that sounds like a completely different turn of phrase.
No, you want inappropriate level naming, you gotta play Mach 2 the speed of stupid.
That sounds just like my speed. Alright.
Possibly, but I also think that WOD maybe has a bit too many slurs in it because it was made in like 2002 by like a bunch of miscreants, so...
Well, that kind of ruins things, doesn't it? Puts a little damper.
Yeah, it is very much a jokey joke WOD. That is very much like, I think if you were going to stream that, you'd probably have to put like an 18+ warning.
Yeah. Alright, well...
I believe there is a secret chainsaw here at the start. Oh, well.
Secret zombie from down the hall. Alright, it seems that I had stopped right before the last stream, right before the TNT maps got stupid. It's starting to feel really dumb right now.
And just because of the amount of hit scan, yeah.
And narrow hallways.
I do believe Metal is the first of like the hit scan hell map. So yeah, I believe by that silver door, if you click on one of the walls by the door, not the actual door itself, it opens and gives you a chainsaw.
Alright. I mean, chainsaw, you know, not the best, but it helps, I guess. Alright, finally cleared out these hallways.
I actually completely forgot.
Like,
I don't remember.
Couldn't hear you.
I said you might already have a chainsaw. I generally don't remember if it's...
Yeah. Alright, we don't need to get one then. I, in fact, do have one.
Yeah, I do believe this is when the TNT maps start to get a little bit difficult, because if I recall back when I was trying to do a TNT Iron Man challenge, a lot of death did happen starting around here.
It would make sense. The map design is starting to get cramped and full of hit scanners, as we were discussing. Yeah,
that will start to be a problem. Of course, then we'll get to the later TNT maps where there's a bunch of hit scanners, and the maps are fucking gigantic and open.
Yeah, and then it's like, well, man, now I wish there was some cover around. Was there another one in here? I hear it.
Yeah, I believe he's off, like...
I heard him, like
if you're facing the stairs, he's up.
Oh, there he is.
Yeah, it does not help that this room is like pitch black.
All right, 4 health in a dream. Oh, cool room.
You want some more? Yeah.
Want some more hit scanners
wide,
and imp?
Big wide open room with no cover. Oh, excellent.
At least it's imps. It could be chain gunners. I'm sure it will be soon.
Oh, you mean like right there?
Yeah, like right there. Oh god. Hey, auto aim, you wanna? Auto aim does in fact not want to.
If auto aim wants to actually automatically aim, that would be fantastic.
All right.
Well, the neat trick with this version is that when the crosshair is yellow, that's how you know that auto aim will work properly.
Right. Now, hey, look, we were better off than before. Now we're at 8 health in a dream. That's 3 whole more health than last time.
10, 11, 12 health?
Like whoever said that health bonuses didn't matter.
I mean, hey, at this low health, every point of health matters.
Ooh, the armor. It is taunting me. I guess I need to start trying out the teleporters in the room. Stim pack, yes! Never in my life have I been so happy to see a stim pack.
Actually, I believe you're also at a low enough threshold that if you find a medkit, you'll actually get the special medkit message.
Oh, is there one where it's kind of like, phew, you needed that kind of thing?
Yeah, I believe if you're at 25% health or low and you pick up a medkit, the little message that displays is pick up a medkit you really needed.
Yeah. I always like when games have that little bit of extra flavor dialogue for low health. It's just kind of like, you know, I don't know. It's just simple. It's a little acknowledgement that, like, man, you were in a shitty position there, mostly by our making. So we included something.
It loved their little Easter eggs. I do recall in I know another one in the original Wolf 3D. If you're, I believe, at 10% health or lower, you can walk up to like corpse viscera and like eat it for like 1% health.
Oh God.
Because it's like, I guess it's like supposed to be like BJ is so like desperate for health that he'll literally just start cannibalizing a corpse.
Cannibal Corpse? The band?
Heavy metal band reference?
Is this a JoJo reference?
Is this a JoJo reference?
Come on.
Actually, speaking of JoJo, I'm not sure if you've been made aware that they've announced the Part 7 anime.
Oh, I've not been made aware. I've not seen that yet.
Yeah, they did like a small teaser, no like actual animation yet, but just like they showed like a still, they showed the character models for Johnny and Gyro, and I mean it looks pretty. Just hopefully it animates better than Stone Ocean did in parts, and hopefully we don't get the stupid ass batch release crap that we had to deal with Part 6.
I'm so far behind on that. I only, like I mentioned before, I've only finished Part 5 as my last one. I'd still have to actually go and watch Part 6 to be caught up on things. But I am hopeful that with the Part 7 they do the you know, the tell him to eat shit Johnny justice.
You shit asshole fall off your horse? Yeah, I'm hoping so too. I mean that one it is at least possible, right? It's like you unfortunately are never gonna be able to get the Part 6 classic if there ain't no Mickey, this shit ain't Disney. That was never happening, unfortunately, but you know.
No. Disney would
I'm sure,
kill us over that.
Yeah, I'm sure eat shit asshole fall off your horse will probably show up. And I'm sure whatever the dub ends up doing will probably have its own fair share of amazing shit in it.
Or whatever Crunchyroll's fucking subtitle creators do.
Yeah, maybe. Although I guess that also depends if it shows up on Crunchyroll, because Part 6, I believe, showed up exclusively on Netflix, so I'm not sure what's going to be happening in this case. I mean, I don't mind it going up on a streaming service. I just hope that we don't get the stupid batch release thing, because I honestly kind of like having the week-by-week releases for a JoJo part, because I feel like it helps with like discussion and everything.
Yeah, of course.
Like some of the lesser, like, you know, well-known fights tend to get a bit more attention when you have to sit on them for a week.
Right, rather than everyone just kind of be like, oh my god, did you see this one? Like the major fight?
Yeah, it's like, that was one thing I always kind of liked about it, especially with like Part 4 and Part 5 as they were coming out, which is like, you know, fights that like I normally wouldn't even like bat an eye about, like reading the manga, or like, oh no, wait, these are kind of peak actually. Because you had like a whole week to like sit on it and like maybe rewatch it like 5 or 6 times because the animation's so good. But then with Part 6, it was like, yeah, we just, you know, made an entire batch of like 12 episodes, and it's like, okay, so all of this shit is going to start like blending in with each other, and I'm not going to remember who the fuck Lang Wrangler is.
Oh, that was a rough place to save.
No! Oh no!
Alright, well thankfully I didn't save over the last thing. I made a new one. Alright, I have to
fucked yourself.
I have to go back just a little bit.
Luckily you're not that far back, but
yeah. Pretty sure I'm only one pinky down, so okay. Boy, this map sure doesn't have like any medkits. I could really go for like a mega sphere right now, or even I'll even take a supercharge. That would work too.
You know, unfortunately, you gotta keep your eyes open. Which, oh yeah, for some reason, this is also one of the first of the few maps where it's like the required progression also requires you to go into secrets. So like, what is even the point of them being secrets?
Just to make the player feel special about themselves, I guess. Oh, I hear more hit scanners down there. That's not good.
So many chain gunners, and we're not even at Plutonia yet.
I'm not even at absolute... The peak of trauma has not been reached. Although they did put me in a box, apparently.
They put me in a room. A metal room with chain gunners and chain
Metal
gunners.
room with a chain gunner and maybe a pinky and a specter or two. Oh, so I just kind of have to wait in this metal box now. Where the fuck?
you're getting
down
elevator camped by the one specter.
This shit is so ass. Alright, come on.
The funny part is that we're still technically in the good portion of TNT.
Yeah, I think this level might have... It probably wouldn't have ended so it would not be happening this way if I just came into this level with any health. I was not prepared for this. Okay. Well, now I can save after the elevator camp, so that's good. Okay.
You know, the funny thing is, when you get to Plutonia, it's actually going to be, like, the complete opposite, where, like, the beginning is going to absolutely, like, fucking bust your balls, and then you're going to get to the end of Plutonia, and then you're like, wait, this shit is easy. Why is this showing up so late?
Yeah, at a certain point where it's like map designers kind of run out of steam, and it's just like, oh, well, I guess, yeah, we get a freebie now.
It's a difficulty curve, but in reverse.
Right. On other random odd notes, I watched a little bit of, I don't normally watch Decino's, like, playthroughs of, WODs and stuff, just because it's not, I don't know, like, right, I'm not, like, a super Doom head, so it's kind of like, it's somewhat cool, but it's, like, not my thing, usually. But I did happen to click on, something he uploaded just recently, which was, Doom, but, like, something's a little bit off, which is basically someone's, Doom recreated from memory.
Yeah, I do love those. It is surprisingly hard.
Oh yeah.
To, like, try to do that from memory.
Because it's like, you can remember, like, the major set pieces, of course, but then when it comes down to being, like, every last detail, it's like, oh, how do I do this? You know?
Yeah. I think I still technically have an unfinished version of E1M1. Not made in the Doom engine, but I tried to recreate the entirety of it in Minecraft.
Ah.
I got actually, like, pretty close. But yeah, I have not touched that in years.
That's pretty fun, though.
But yeah, no, honestly, I feel like recreating Doom, like classic Doom maps in Minecraft is actually a lot easier than I think most people would think it would be.
I would
think, like,
yeah,
you know,
no,
it's
I
already
would think
kind of built on like a very blocky sort of.
Yeah, it's already a very blocky system, so like you can pretty easily recreate the maps. Like it's not like I don't know. I mean, try to recreate like a whole like world type thing. Now, I mean, actually putting the enemies down and having them function, now that's not going to happen, but you can at least have, you know, representations of the enemies where you need them as well.
Yeah. Yeah, if you're trying to, like, recreate, like, a Half-Life map, that's, like, a completely different story. Obviously, without cheating, of course, like, without just taking, like, the map model and importing it into Minecraft.
Yeah, that's not in the spirit of things. I was thinking along the lines of, like, what do I think I could recreate by memory? And I think the list is exclusively, I think to stay also within the spirit of things and, like, not get it perfect, probably Mega Man's 1 through 6, maybe? I think that would be fun to take a crack at. So I think that I can memorize the majority of the set pieces, but I know I'm just going to be like, okay, how many blocks exactly between the start of Cutman stage and, like, that ladder is there? That's not going to be quite right. Where are the Guts blocks? I don't remember. And then it would be, I don't think I would mess this up, but it would be funny to try to recreate Quickman stage, and then it's like the laser section is just wrong, and that'll ruin everyone's muscle memory.
Yeah, that would 100% fuck up my muscle memory if it was just slightly off.
Even if it's just like one block out of place, it's like, this is not it. What is this? And suddenly it would be impossible. So,
I think the area into like the water section to the north, I believe, is open now. I think we can go there now.
Trying to find that. Trying to see if it is.
Yeah, the wall lowered.
Oh, what the? That was not lower a second ago. Maybe I didn't hit the switch
right.
last time.
Switch did thing? Not like it's gonna tell me what it does.
I think maybe I just didn't hit the switch last time I was in that area. I was too busy on not dying to the Spectre.
That is also a possibility.
Alright, well now I have an idea of where to go. Please don't do that to me. Oh no.
Still haven't gotten into the mindset of, oh, item might be booby traps. Well, that is something that Plutonia very much teaches you.
Yeah, I've not, Fucking, okay, Cackle Demon, I get it, you have weaves. Stop it, I have limited rockets. That fucker kept
26.
zigzagging
You're not
every
that
time.
limited. Wow, you just ate that.
I really did.
Ball.
And here I thought I was going to start gaining an advantage in the resources game. Alright, is there anything over here? No? Okay, I just need to actually use the red card now.
Yeah, I do think though trying to like recreate any of the classic Mega Man stages from scratch would certainly be kind of a fun challenge.
Yeah, I think I would probably do best at 1 and 2, just because they're relatively simple. Once it's like 3 is kind of like there's just so much in 3 that it becomes hard, and then 4 is like they got like, you know, pretty creative and plentiful with the gimmicks by that point. So it was kind of like that will be difficult to get every single one of those right.
I feel like, yeah, well, obviously 1 and 2 would probably be easiest, especially because of, like, you know, the much lower detail kind of makes you remember, oh, right, Cutman just has, like, 1 color background.
Right.
You know, so that's difficult to remember. Weirdly enough, though, I think another of the classic Mega Man games that I think would actually be at least a little bit on the easier side, in my opinion at least, I think might be 5, actually.
Yeah, I was just thinking of that, too. 5 has really simple design, all things considered. It's not, you know, an insult to the game, but it is definitely... Oh, hey. TNT.
Just in case you forgot what game you were playing.
I thought I was playing Little Nemo, Return to Dreamland. But yeah, 5 does have relatively simple design, I think. It is just a handful of set pieces, and, like, the gimmicks are not all over the place. Oh, this is not gonna be good.
Yeah, this is the room that ruined a bunch of early Iron Man attempts for me, because, yeah. What cover?
What cover? All these chain gunners? Okay, what health? Okay, it's probably in my best interest to try to get some infighting going right after just triggering everything. So just run and let them funnel into here. We're gonna have to do this the slow and scummy way. Because there's literally no way I could do that room with 15 health and 5 armor.
Yeah, probably just gonna have to wait for them to all kind of sort of funnel toward the door.
Yeah.
Yeah, that might take a bit. But, yeah, I think at this point, you kind of need to be patient.
Yup.
I think in regards to other Mega Man related stuff, I know Jupy Horn has finally come back to do, playing through the, I guess some of the later classic series games, and we just finished Mega Man 8.
Oh,
7.
cool. I have, not really watched anything straight out of the Hornet's mouth. That sounds fun.
Well, he uses text commentary, so it's like watching the old QZCWX videos.
Well, that's charming. I do like that. I kind of miss those days when that was enough to be a, you know, decent little YouTube channel.
Yeah. Yeah, I do enjoy this stuff. Sometimes engaging with the comment section can be sometimes a little bit interesting. Like apparently, he never knew that you can actually hit Atamino in a Wily 1 with arrow shot. Because that's a thing I do all the time now when I'm fighting that boss, because like I kind of also completely forgot, because it's been so long since I've actually done it, like how fast that boss melts to Mega Ball.
Wait, so I'm sorry, which one are you talking about? In the guy that hangs from the ceiling?
Yeah, the bagworm guy in Wily 1.
Okay. Yeah, I use Mega Ball on that thing all the time.
Yeah, no, I know it's its weakness, but it's like every time I think I used to fight him as a kid, and I'm like, oh, this ball kind of sucks because it's like, you know, a waiting game, and he dies super fast on Mega Ball, so like, this is boring. So like every time I fight him now, it's like Arrow Shot plus Ice Wave.
Oh, you said Arrow Shot. Okay, that was what you said.
Yeah, just to make the fight. Yeah, just to make the fight more interesting. And yeah, well, the only way you can actually hit him with Arrow Shot is as he's dropping like the little the objects he tries to drop on you. You have to like hit it with a charged Arrow Shot as it's falling, so that way the spread shot will actually go up to hit him.
Wait, I'm sorry. Say that again. I was enamored by the fact that I just shot that guy with the rocket.
Yeah, I know. You're getting distracted by chain gunners shooting you. I understand.
Okay.
So I was saying if you want to hit the boss with an arrow shot, you have to hit the objects he drops on you as they're falling.
Ah, I see.
Otherwise, the spread shot won't be high enough to hit him.
That's kind of a cool guy move, honestly. I like that.
Well,
It's a bit of a swag strat.
It's the way I've like fought him for like years now because I'm like, this boss is boring otherwise. Of course, I've also seen sometimes occasionally comments being like, yeah, the Mega Man 8 castle just sucks.
Chris.
It's like, oh hey, Chris is here.
Yeah, have fun playing WAD full of low-tier enemies. I'm doing my best. Honestly, this map is starting to test my patience for Doom TNT. Just because I don't have
we're
any
only at
help.
map 8. We still have another 24 maps after this.
Well, that's why I said starting. we're just getting into it. Oh, what the fuck? I thought that chain gunner died. Come on.
Why he no die?
Why he no die?
Lamb.
Why he live? Yeah, this music is honestly baller. I think this is probably my favorite track so far. Either this or the first levels track. I could actually probably
well,
save.
it's such a popular track that like whenever anybody tries to do like a TNT like tribute WAD, this always ends up like even if like they start using like completely original music, this track always ends up somewhere as a leitmotif.
That's fair.
It's iconic.
It really is honestly that good. I can totally get behind why. 3 health,
Next
okay.
time is impossible on Nightmare. Technically, it's not impossible, but very unlikely for your average player. You probably wouldn't be playing Nightmare anyway.
Damn it, I thought I was gonna be slick with that med kit. Oh, I guess I got 5 health out of it. That's more than nothing. Oh, okay.
Sometimes you get high rolled. Sometimes it happens.
But I think I got high rolled by the goo. I don't think that's possible.
Oh yeah, I believe the slime is always set damage, but I don't remember how high damage the slime is. It might be 20 damage slime.
Yeah, I think it was to take me down from what I had, boosted up to 28 down to 18, or down to 8.
Yeah, that's rough.
Next week you'll be showing up in your stream. Hey, nice. Glad to hear it. That mean the semester's wrapping up for you?
I guess spring break might be coming up for
Oh yeah, spring break. That's true. Oh fuck. Of course, it's more hit scanners.
More monster closets.
More. Well, that'll be good. We'll be glad to see you back, Chris. Does this not go back down? No? Okay.
No, you gotta hit the... Okay, so the way that these work is that you hit one switch, it raises, and then after it's finished raising, the other switch lowers it like a lift.
Oh boy, it really takes...
Yeah, you know what? I kind of realized that some of Max Level's bullshit design kind of does bleed over to TNT a little bit. just a tad.
It makes you wait if you fuck up once.
No, it lowers like a lift. You don't wait for the other switch to get hit. It's like it raises once, and then the other switch controls it like a lift.
Oh, as in it'll go up and down multiple times. I see.
Yes. Yes, I have to realize that for someone who's not familiar with like every single sector action in the game, that it kind of helps to clarify that.
Right, not how every single sector action works, neither. But no, that's great, Chris. Hope classes are going well too, and then you can get a nice break with seeing some of my streams.
Right. Yeah, and hopefully we should start
yeah.
getting all ready for the community submissions soon too.
Right, we were talking about that right before the stream started, but we were kind of considering like probably this week we'll start taking some submissions, start logging them, and figuring out, you know, how to organize that. And maybe within like, I don't know, 3-4 weeks, we could maybe get into that. Though of course, you know, it'd be good to be able to actually have you there if you're kind of still stuck in the middle of schooling. You don't want it to be we're playing your levels while you're not here. But, you know, we'll see what we can do.
Right.
Okay, well, that was one room. I hit a switch there. I think I hit a switch there. Maybe I didn't actually hit the switch. Try that again. Did I miss it? I did miss it. Okay.
Yeah, because then that should lower another wall with more hit scanners, with more switches, that take you to lists that hit more switches. Yeah, it's basically like, hey, you know that thing you just did? All right, do it another 3 times.
All right.
Because we need to add out gameplay.
I love doing the same thing over and over again. Don't you know that's the definition of Doom?
Where's Voz when you need him?
What'd you say?
I said, where's Voz when you need him? Good old Voz Montenegro.
Did you get closer to the mic? It's barely registering.
Voz Montenegro, the guy from Far Cry 3.
I see.
That's the guy who says the definition of insanity line.
Oh, he said that. Interesting.
I thought that's what you were referencing, so...
No, I was just referencing the general... I mean, I was referencing the general quote, but, you know, the fact that a lot of people use it just as, like, you know, the whole Einstein thing. And they'll say that. It's become something that even, you know, 50-year-olds in boring office jobs will say, too, so...
Yeah, working a corporate 9-to-5 is the definition of insanity.
You know, maybe a couple months ago I wouldn't have agreed, but, you know, all of a sudden, within the last couple of months, I'm maybe feeling the same kind of thing. Although I guess I'm not working a corporate 9-to-5, I'm working a university 9-to-5.
Slightly less insane, but...
It is slightly less insane, but there are some things that make you just scratch your head every once in a while. Like, say, a lab leaving out just a plate of boiling hot oil for one of their experiments. And it's just like, so why do you just have this out constantly? Like, could you maybe put this away every once in a while? You know, so that way nobody, like, falls on it and gets, like, 3rd-degree burns. That would be good.
Whoa, mustard gas be upon me.
Every once in a while, I like to borrow a meme that was borrowed from King of the Hill, but is in the Explosions and Fire Discord, where they take... you know, pocket sand and turn it into pocket phosgene, and the worker died soon after.
Oh yeah, and then this is where they start tripping you off, where it's like, oh, you think you're going to hit the switch, actually there's a teleporter.
Ah, very witty of them. This is what we call gameplay.
You know, I would not be surprised if you still have very little health at the beginning of the next map, that you might just have to pistol start it, because I don't think you could survive the hot start.
And yeah. It's likely. Oh well, that's okay. We don't have too many worldly possessions. We can do without.
Yeah, on the plus side, there's not going to be any shortages of shotguns and chain guns for you to pick up, so that's at least one positive.
Yeah. Right, did that. Okay, good. Ooh, stim pack. 38. Hold on. We're getting back to some sense of normalcy. We just have to play this like a Paizo Half-Life 2 map pack. Save like every couple of seconds. Take any health increment you can get. Alright, so I hit this. Where the hell did it go?
Well, another wall at the bottom probably opened up. Yep.
Yep.
And you got more switches that you need to hit that will open up more switches.
Hooray! Ah! Oh, and they switched that one up on me as well. I said, I heard that you like hit scanners.
And getting bitten in the ass by specters.
I've always wanted a ghost to bite me in the ass. Okay, how about this one? Nope, can't activate that one, so...
It does raise that platform, but
right.
it's just there to trick you. Because the other switch does not lower it like a lift.
Alright, I'll say that. At the very least, they start up a repetitive task so that way you get fooled, you know, into playing their game like this. Where it's like, oh, you thought. I do like that.
Yeah, you do the same boring thing 3 times and then they hit you with the cha-cha real smooth.
Alright. Time to bring... Okay, I barely have any ammo on this, but...
24!
We'll
24
be enough, right?
Yeah, it should be enough.
There we go. Somehow throughout this, I'm running out of chain gun bullets. Plenty of shotgun ammo, but that's not what you need when you get to assault.
No shortage of shells. I think you're gonna be doing fine there.
I see some guys down there.
Tiny spider.
Hey, sweet, and no chain gunner, surprisingly.
Yet.
Shotgunner, hold on. we still haven't hit rock bottom. Okay, good God. There's 4 secrets on this map? Jesus. Okay. Well.
Oh yeah, you have not even begun to explore some of the other side paths.
Yeah, probably go back for that. At the very least, maybe I'll get some health for doing so. All right. I know there was still that one courtyard with all the water. That's probably something I can go do.
Yeah, I believe you have to...
Oddly little suspicious sector over here.
You think, but then sometimes it's just weird map design.
Weird geometry. Gotcha. Oh, hey, I never went this way.
Armor!
Hooray! I love armor. Oh, I don't like the sound of that. Okay, it's just zombies. I can handle that.
And all for Invisisphere.
All for a partial invisibility. Womp womp. I'll take the clip, though. Alright, so... we can go back this way, then.
Well, I do know one of the secrets you didn't get was the chainsaw secret at the beginning. As far as the... Oh, I think I know where one of the other ones is. I think it might also have a soldier in it, too.
Something to do with this, if I had to imagine.
Actually don't know if that's a secret. So you know the room that had, like, the red key, or, like, the big, like, water area outside?
Yes.
Yeah, in that room. So I believe if you go all the way left, not in the water area, but, like, in the metal area. All the way... Yeah, that left area to the left. I believe if you go all the way to the back of that room, that lowers, like, a lift. Maybe click on that.
Oh. Oh. Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Thank God a supercharge.
Yeah, take what you could get, because, yeah, the hit scan is not gonna...
It's not gonna let up anytime soon. Alright, so that's good. I'm gonna do that. See if I can't find the chainsaw secret for the fun of it. Why not?
Well, it's all the way back at the beginning in the sewer. And like I said before, you don't actually click on the door. You have to click on the wall that's attached to the door, because for some reason they couldn't just make the door be the switch. No, not that. No, the one at
Oh.
the very beginning where you spawn. Not that door.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, that door.
Huh.
Yeah,
Alright.
I couldn't fucking tell you why it's like that.
If anything, you know, maybe just to fuck with people. I can respect just to fuck with people as an answer. Oof. Alright, well, I won't look too hard for the last secret then. I have actually actual health stats to go into the next map with.
I have also been continuing with my my tiering, so still at hard work on Mega Man 8 currently. Just going through the Robot Master stages. Was pleasantly surprised to find that Thunderclaw wasn't as bad as I remembered, but it's still weird.
Yeah. Thunderclaw it's definitely good. It's just punishing, like, really punishing if you miss for some reason.
Well, even if you hit, it could be somewhat punishing, because it's like, the damage on it is super inconsistent, at least if you're hitting enemies directly with it. Do you want to know the best way to use Thunderclaw from my experience in testing it?
I think it's, you, like, slightly miss the enemy and you just get them in, like,
and then, you get them on the
hitbox.
wind back, which is so weird to me. Because the thing that I didn't realize, because I thought the only active hitbox on this thing was just, you know, the end of the whip. You know, like a whip works.
Right.
But no, apparently the entirety of the whip has a hitbox. So like those big like Rhino mini bosses, if you do the miss trick and then get them on the wind back, it completely eviscerates them.
Nice.
I'm like, oh, all right. So this is a lot better than I was expecting it to be. But it's like, I don't know why it's designed this to be like the most awkward thing ever.
There are certainly more awkward weapons within the Mega Man weapon set. Not within 8, maybe.
Oh, yeah,
but...
no, there's absolutely more awkward weapons, 2 of which are in Mega Man 10. I know as a fact, but I have no idea why Thunderclaw, of all things, is designed that way. I mean, especially considering that this is like, you know, Mega Man 8 especially is like a game that's designed with kids in mind. What kid is going to be like, yes, let me purposefully miss the enemy so I can get them on the swing back for maximum damage? Like, what fucking developer thinks that way?
I bet they probably didn't think about, like, oh, well, let's make this a cool tech that people can find out, and just be like, well, it is still, like, electricity there, and the hitbox does move with Mega Man, so why not just keep slapping the hitbox on there, and, like, oh, cool, that does, like, damage? Yeah, okay, sure, maybe somebody will figure that out and find that fun.
It just annoys me because, like, the initial hit just does, like, completely inconsistent damage. It's like, I run into situations where it takes like 3 hits to kill things with just like the initial hit. Sometimes they die in 1 hit. Sometimes they die in 2. It's like it's completely inconsistent because it's like the same enemy type just takes a random amount of hits to kill, to the point where I was convinced that the only way to kill enemies more consistently with Thunderclaw was you had to hold the button down longer.
You know, I bet the reason there's probably some inconsistency is because of that whole, the fact that the hitbox on the retraction is still there. I'm betting that there's, for some reason, the retraction hitbox actually ends up hitting first and doing less damage because, like, that'll only be there for, like, say, 1 frame or whatever on the enemy, and then that only does a little bit compared to the actual, like, hit that is supposed to deliver by touching them with the very end of the Thunderclaw. Probably something dumb like that.
I mean, if there was a way to display hitboxes in Mega Man 8 so I could actually see, that would be good to kind of test. Because, yeah, I would not be surprised if it is a case of, like, a sour spot hitbox is inflicting damage first, and that's why the damage is randomly so low. But then other times it'll just instantly kill things with the initial end of the whip, so yeah, I don't know.
Sense to me.
And so far from also testing is that Water Balloon is all right. I don't think it's particularly good or bad. I think it's just kind of meh.
Yeah, I mean, Water Balloon
But
is just good for the fact that you can spam it. Like, it's a better version of the Buster, really, and like that's kind of all it is.
You can spam it, and it does like more, like I think slightly more damage than like pellet spamming.
Yeah.
So, like it is okay. It's just the only thing about it that I find a little bit obnoxious, at least comparing to other, like, you know, spam Buster pellet replacement weapons, is that it has, like, basically, like, half as much ammo as those types of weapons would normally have. Like, like for the record, I'm currently testing this on like the version on the save file that I have that like basically is like, you know, with energy saver and like, oh, you can convert like health into energy, so like to make sure that like I can have as much weapon energy as I need so I can test stuff as thoroughly as I can.
Yeah.
And the max ammo you can get on water balloon is only 64 shots, which seems like a lot.
No, that's not very much.
You realize that like, but then you realize that like needle cannon gives you 112, metal blade gives you 112, quick boomerang gives you 250, 224. So it's like this barely feels like it's anything. It's like a buster replacement, especially considering that it's not like, you know, completely ridiculous in terms of damage output. So it's like not bad, but definitely like
it's definitely subpar.
Yeah, and especially considering that it's also one of the weapons you get in the latter half of the game too. It's like, yeah, I can see why a lot of people probably don't think very highly of this thing.
Yeah, it's just like you have so many better options in 8. It's like it just kind of ultimately ends up failing. It also, you know, it also doesn't help too that it's just not cool in any way. It's a water balloon. Yippee.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that seems to be a very common running theme for Mega Man games, where the water element weapon is like the most like either boring or like actually just garbage piece of shit in the entire game under most circumstances. Only exception I can think of is Mega Man 10.
Yeah.
But yeah, anytime Capcom makes like specifically a water element weapon, it's just like the worst thing in the game. And no, Laser Trident does not count because it's not actually water element. It's a freaking
it's laser element.
Laser. Yeah, that does not count.
Yeah, I gotta agree, because most of the time, yeah, the water weapon just kind of becomes like, oh, I don't know, it's like it's water, like you shoot the water at the enemy. I don't know what to do with this. It's like you could do a lot of things. Y'all got somewhat creative for. Well, I guess Inti Creates got creative for Fairy Leviathan, so I guess that doesn't count. Capcom didn't really get creative with that. Oh my god, this room filled back up.
Oh yeah, I think it's like you pass a certain point and then the entire like previous rooms just start getting flooded with hit scan enemies.
The entire map woke the fuck up.
Yeah. Yeah, this map is like 90% hit scan, and the other 10% is like, well, the other like 9.9% is imps, and then there's like one pinky, I think.
I am having more fun with this level than with Metal, just because of the fact that there is a reasonable amount of cover in a good ratio to you know, like narrow hallways. Like, yeah, I don't feel like I'm getting cornered, cramped, and kind of snuck up on as much.
Speaking a little bit too soon, I'm afraid.
I'm sure it's going to happen, but so far, it's been okay. Can't do anything with that. Alright, that's frustrating. Just taunt me with the switch like this.
Yeah, but I mean, granted, I'm not finished fully testing 8's weapons, but the general rule of thumb I always kind of found with 8's weapons is that half of the weapons are like actually like fantastic and are like A tier or S tier, and then the other half is like mid as fuck.
Yeah, that does sound about right for 8. What was your what'd you think for 7? What was the best one in 7 in your opinion?
This might potentially sound surprising. Thunderbolt.
No, that makes sense. It's just it's a fully charged Mega Buster shot that you can just have at will. It's solid.
Well, see, the thing is, I mentioned that in Choopy's comment section, and even he was like, really? It's like, I think it's good, but like, he felt like, you know, Junk Shield absolutely shreds the game. And to be fair, Junk Shield is absolutely fantastic. It is top 3 Classic Series Shield weapons. But the reason why I did not find Junk Shield to be the best weapon in 7. It is the second best weapon, though. I will give it that. Was that I find that there's a lot of cases where you're dealing with shielded enemies, and you know, the junk basically gets completely fucking knocked off of you if you're fighting shielded enemies. And a thing that I realized going through it is that Joes will not drop their shield while you have your own shield up.
Huh. Yeah, I guess that is true. They are kind of annoying like that.
Yeah, the switches and hitting just open the window. If you're wondering why it has like a weird little like fucked up graphic effect, that just happens when like you have a non-textured sector that's raising or lowering.
Yeah, it was trippy for a second. I got it after like the second switch, but yeah, no, that does make sense actually for Joe's, because like they don't want to lower their shields if they can actively detect you're firing something. So technically, yeah, like junk shield would fit that description. I think at the very least, you probably can get into melee range with the Joe and then just pop up junk shield again. I think it has that kind of weird thing where like it's one of the only shields that like spawns slightly away from Mega Man and then kind of closes in on him.
It sort of converges in on him from like the entirety of the screen, which is why you can sort of use like the actual formation of the shield to damage enemies that are like super far away from you, which basically also kind of makes junk shield not only a really good shield weapon, but also and sort of inadvertent screen clear weapon.
Yeah, which that's messed up, honestly. The fact that it has that going for it too. Ooh, wrong weapon to have
shield is pretty good, but yeah, the absolute ridiculous damage output you can get on both just like kind of edged it out by like a bit better. Then third best was Noise Crush.
Yeah, another charge shot replacement makes sense.
Yeah, well, another charge shot replacement that's also very cheap and like very efficient in terms of the ammo, and also the fact that like even the uncharged shots have like the whole like can rebound off of walls and shit is really good. And also uncharged shots do the exact same amount of damage as Mega Man's regular charge shot in 7.
Oh wow, that is really good then.
Yeah, well, the thing is, it is really good, but it also kind of indicates on how bad the Mega Man 7 charge shot is.
It is weird that the charge shot in Mega Man 7 only does 2 damage, I believe, rather than every other game's 3.
Yeah, it does 2 damage. Uncharged Noise Crush shots also do 2 damage. Fully charged Noise Crush shots do 4 damage. And Thunderbolt technically does 2.5 damage, but because most enemies in that game tend to be like stationary or slow moving, in reality it's doing more like 5 damage.
Oh yeah, so, the little balls hit them.
Yeah, Thunderbolt is really good. And then Slash Claw got 4th place.
I was expecting Slash Claw to be probably about actually 2nd or 3rd, but 4th is pretty respectable too when you're putting it in perspective
It's got good damage. The fact that like the actual claw graphic like basically damages enemies for like every frame that it's coming in cockpit with them makes it really good. But obviously it's limited by the its lack of range, which makes it awkward to use in a couple of spots.
Right.
And then the thing that I also, I think it's because I'm so used to playing with the Magnum 2 version of it. Slash Claw and Vanilla 7 does not have full shield piercing.
Yeah, it is kind of weird that it doesn't have that. You can make funny noises against a Joe shield at the very least. That's a That's a secondary plus.
Yeah, it doesn't do
consolation
sadly
prize.
doesn't do anything against Mets. It doesn't do anything against Joes. It can still deal with shield attackers because the graphic of the Slash Claw is big enough that it actually just hits the behind hitbox.
Right.
So like it's still good for those. But yeah, it's really limited in a lot of cases. But Slash Claw is still absolutely fantastic. But yeah, I was kind of surprised, like, because even I was like, oh, Slash Claw's got to be like top 2 weapon in this game, right? Like, no, Bolt and Crush surprisingly performed quite a bit better. And then 5th place was Danger Rap, which that was not that surprising.
Yeah,
I do kind of wish that the bubbled version did more damage than what it actually does, given that it's a 14-shot weapon.
Yeah, because it just kind of turns into being a little awkward, with having to place down the mine every time to actually do real damage with it.
Yeah, like, I believe bubbled Danger Rap technically does the same damage as Uncharged Noise Crush, so that kind of limits it a bit.
Just a touch.
But, yeah, but you could still, like, encase enemies with the bubble, and yeah, the mine version does absolutely ludicrous damage. Like, I think the Burst Man mini-boss, if you have a full bar of Danger Rap, you could just completely fucking nuke it with the mine by just standing near it.
I'll have to keep that in mind next time I play. That sounds like fun.
Yeah, that was good. And then 3rd from the bottom was Wild Coil.
Yeah, it makes sense. It's not bad, but it's definitely not great. It's got an awkward pattern, the damage is a little minimal, and you have to kind of twist your hand into into weird muscle memory to use it effectively.
Yeah, well, here's the funny thing about it. It's actually scored as a mid-tier. Just because it actually has solid damage. But the kind of pathetic thing I sort of realized about it, Charged Wild Coil does, like, a negligible amount of additional damage.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it adds, like, one damage.
I think it only adds, like, 0.5, actually.
Oh, wow.
Because, yeah, no, there was, like, I think there are only 2 enemies in the entire game where you can kill them with, like, 2 uncharged wild coils that will die in 1 hit to a charged wild coil. Every other enemy is, like, they will die to the exact same amount, regardless if it's uncharged or charged. So I'm like, okay, this is just terrible. Like, but honestly though, like the solid damage on it, and the fact that like the first one still just comes like directly out in front of Mega Man, at least kind of got it as high as mid tier. But yeah, it is a weapon that is sorely lacking in terms of potential just because of how it's designed. Like, there is one spot in the entire game that I think Wild Coil is perfect for actually hitting enemies with both springs. Other than that, it's like you are never using the coil that gets shot behind you, like, ever. No,
it just kind of gets wasted.
Yeah, that's pretty bad. And then Torque Wheel and Freeze Cracker. So currently, the way that my like list works, so like I currently like have everything graded, so I don't have like any of the stuff later graded from like, you know, 8 and onward right now.
Yeah.
Technically speaking, both Wheel and Cracker are bottom 10. They're at like they're like at the low end of bottom 10. So like I believe right now Scorch Wheel is 10, Freeze Cracker is 9. But I believe I'm like pretty confident in saying that Scorch Wheel is barely going to get moved out of bottom 10 because Thunderwall exists.
Right.
But yeah, it's pretty bad.
I think I'm surprised Freeze Cracker ends up that low. Like, it's definitely not good because like its damage is so piddling, and then it also has the problem of like, especially even the like little break off bullets are like really piddling. Like, I'm pretty sure those are just 1 damage.
So I believe I'm gonna double check right now so I don't get this wrong, but I'm actually check my damage.
Okay, so what the... Alright, time for another switch where it's like, what does this activate?
Oh, you have a red key, so I think there's a red door you can open up.
Yeah, I hit the red key, the switch, and now I guess I can go over to wherever the red door is. Was it here? No, it was not. Was it? No, it wasn't this. Oh, okay, that's what the red key activated. It allowed me to get here.
Okay, so the damage does not change between the big shot and the small shot, which I think is part of the problem.
Yeah.
But the actual damage, 1.5. It's 1.5 on both.
Yuck.
Yeah, it's only marginally better damage than pellets, but its firing rate is abysmal compared to just spamming pellets. So like, the best way to use Freeze Cracker would be to like, you know, trying to hit enemies with like a bunch of the split shots. Very rarely will that ever come up. I think there's only a couple of instances, I think in some of the Fortress stages, where I think I was able to hit enemies with at least 3 of the split-off flakes. Otherwise, like, maximum you're getting most of the time is 2. And then a lot of the time you're, like, either just hitting them with, like, the big one or, like, 1 tiny one.
Right, unless you are Snipe Master and can hit right at the bottom of enemy's feet. The only good application of Freeze Crackers than to basically just like hit small enemies that are above you, and it's like that doesn't happen all that often in Mega Man 7, except for like maybe in the Junkman lift. But at that, it's not exactly hard to dodge the little heli-mets that are there.
So like, here's the really funny thing about it is that considering in terms of functionality, I compared like Freeze Cracker a lot to Blizzard Attack in 6.
Yeah.
But the funny thing is that in spite of all of the problems that Blizzard Attack has, because of how the projectiles sort of basically come out almost immediately and you don't have to do some like weird angling bullshit like 90% of the time, Blizzard Attack got as high as bottom of B tier. Whereas Freeze Cracker is bottom 9, which is kind of incredible.
Not a good day to be Freeze Cracker.
It's like if you looked at like all of like the individual stats without trying to use it in practice, you'd be thinking, there's no way Freeze Cracker's a bottom 10 weapon. It's like 28 uses, you know, slightly decent damage, it splits off. Like, this seems like it's really good. And then you actually try to use it in 7, it's like, this is dog shit.
Yeah, it's just like, it doesn't have any place in 7. In a different game that just had a lot of small enemies, and like, if you had the rapid rate upped a little bit, it would be okay. Oh, hey, cool, we got a... Sorry, that was a fucking TNT closet, holy shit.
Yeah, Grand Hallway full of hit scanners, I told you spoke too soon.
Sorry that I didn't speak with 30 minutes worth of foresight in front of me. How long it fucking took me to get to this spot. Oh. Okay.
Luckily, next map after this, I think, more or less, is a bit of a breather by comparison, so that'll be...
Yeah. This is still okay. I'm still not pissed off with this map.
But yeah, Scorch Wheel only marginally did better than Freeze Cracker. The thing that I found between the both of them is that, on average, Freeze Cracker ended up being the worst weapon for most stages, but Wheel hit much lower lows in a lot of spots. I think the only reason that Scorch Wheel ended up beating out Freeze Cracker because it had an absolutely dominant performance in Springman stage, which I was surprised at.
Yeah, that is kind of surprising, but I guess it does, like, the angle it gets on all the enemies there is actually pretty solid, all things considered.
Yeah, and the fact that Scorch Wheel actually has very solid damage, too, is the reason why it also...
Oh, yeah. When you actually do hit something with Scorch Wheel, finally, it feels, like, great. The dopamine rush is sublime, but when you can't hit anything with Scorch Wheel, it's just like, ugh.
I believe that it has the same damage as Charge Noise Crush, so it does 4 damage. But of course, you know, the question then would be, well, then why the fuck aren't you using Charge Noise Crush?
Right.
Because it's like, you know, it doesn't have this awkward as fuck trajectory. And despite the fact that, like, some people might label Scorch Wheel as, like, a shield weapon, it's not a fucking shield weapon.
No, it doesn't protect you in the slightest.
Yeah, the hitbox on the shield, like, while it's surrounding you, is so damn small that the only way you're hitting an enemy with it is if you're already taking damage by crashing into them. So
right.
if you would consider that weapon a shield weapon, it is the worst shield weapon in the entire series.
Yeah, I wouldn't consider it a shield weapon at that point. It doesn't have enough protection to actually warrant that description.
Yeah.
Oh boy, that hallway really beat me up.
But I also realized, since we were having, I know you mentioned this like last night, that I sped through everything so fast we didn't really get to discuss everything about 5 and 6. So, yeah, 5 didn't have too many like crazy things. Like, a lot of stuff kind of ended up like more or less where I thought it would. So, like, yeah, Gyro Attack ended up scoring the highest, to no surprise. Napalm Bomb also scored pretty high. Crystal Eye also scored, like, about middle of B tier. Actually, according to my grading rubric, it actually scored higher than Rolling Cutter, which I thought was surprising.
Yeah, I am honestly very surprised by that. I never use Crystal Eye when I play 5. I hate Crystal Eye.
The thing that I have found with Crystal Eye is that if you just exclusively just try to use it as a replacement charge shot, like you're just trying to hit enemies with like the big crystal and not even try to hit with a rebound, it does surprisingly well for itself. And I'm also enough of a lunatic that I actually did test a bunch of spots where you could try to get good rebound shots, and it actually performed pretty decently with that. But because you have to effectively wait for all of the projectiles to disappear before you can swap into using something else, it's just like, or even fire up another one, it's like, oh, okay, this isn't getting any higher than B tier. There's no fucking way.
Yeah.
Oh, that was how that ended up, but how else did everything else perform? Power Stone scored actually a lot higher than I was expecting it to.
I told you so. Power Stone's good. It's a real good weapon. People hate on it for some reason. I don't know why.
So it is at bottom. Power Stone is at the bottom currently of C.
Hello? Uh-oh.
C tier.
Oh. You cut out there for a second. You said C tier and then you cut out.
Yeah, I think Discord just I just watched the fucking Discord stream, like, footage just tank for a second there, so I think that was just adjusting. So yeah, Power Stone is currently sitting at the bottom of C+ tier, which currently the only other weapons that are sitting in C+ tier are Hard Knuckle, and at the very top is Top Spin. Just kind of like the, okay, this is good, or it's like, this has the potential to be good, but it has enough problems that I can't give it like a mid-tier status. Which I feel bad about my boy Topspin, but because of how that weapon sort of functions in Original 3, like, I can't reasonably score it any higher than that.
Yeah, Topspin has functionality issues in 3, and that's kind of what's holding it back. I don't know. I don't feel like Power Stone has functionality, like, enough problems to warrant it out of mid-tier. I would at least call it mid-tier.
Power Stone scored as low as it did because of, obviously, like, the really awkward trajectory, the low damage, the fact that certain projectiles can just straight up, you know, negate the actual... It's like... And there are just straight up some spots in the game where, like, trying to use this thing effectively at all is just, like, a fool's errand. Like, good luck trying to fucking kill Power Masters with just Power Stone. It is awful.
Yeah, that's never going to happen.
So yeah, it's like... It did score a lot higher than I was anticipating it to be, but yeah, it's still... But, like, my metric is, like, anything that's below B- tier, I would consider a bad weapon, but Power Stone is one of the better bad weapons.
It's still a very interesting way that you decided to score it, I think, where it's like, if it's, you know... If it has those problems against, like, say, a Power Master, it will automatically be a lot lower tier, but it's like, you know, realistically, you would never... try doing that in a gameplay scenario.
I mean, if it takes me 20 shots of Power Stone to kill a Power Master, that's not a good sign. That's like more than like 3/4 of my ammo count. And keep in mind, even though that I'm doing it with like the infinite ammo codes, like I still kind of keep in mind that like, okay, if it's taking this many shots to kill something, then I would not consider it good for this.
Yeah, but it's not good in that situation, you know? And it's like you would never put it out in that situation.
There were weapons that, like, used up a lot of ammo that scored higher. There were weapons that, you know, barely used ammo at all that scored lower. I mean, for fuck's sake, Bubble Lead is at, like, bottom 5, and it gives you 56 shots. So, you know, it's... Considering, like... Again, I think it more or less comes down to just a lot of the problems of, like, awkward trajectory, very low damage, the fact that it could be blocked, and then, like... You know, for how low damage you're getting out of it, it's also only a 28-shot weapon. Like, are you kidding me?
Yeah, I don't know. I guess we can debate it further when we actually do a tier listing for all this stuff.
Yeah, just like when you consider that, like, a weapon like, say, you know, Firestorm or Thunderbeam or Rolling Cutter are also 28-shot weapons, and their damage is ludicrously higher, it's like that kind of means that Power Stone is lacking in a lot of areas. But yeah, again, scored higher than I was expecting it to. Like, I know most people would probably put Power Stone as like a bottom 10 Classic Series weapon, but no, it did not end up scoring that low. Then Gravity Hold scored pretty low. Actually, Gravity Hold scored lower than Power Stone, which I know might sound surprising, but I generally hold the Screen Nuke weapons to a higher standard, so that's why it scored lower.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, I believe it's technically in the same tier as Scorch Wheel and Freeze Cracker, so it's like barely off of being bottom 10. I think right now it's like bottom 12 currently. And that a lot of that just comes down to like, okay, it's a screen clear weapon that under most circumstances you wouldn't be using because it costs 4 ammo to do 1 damage.
Yeah.
And yes, like, it can hit across the entire screen, but when you only get 7 uses out of the thing, it's like, you know, you gotta make sure that shit counts.
Should actually hit pretty hard.
And there's just a lot of stages where it's like, yeah, there's just a lot of stages where it's like, you were not using this thing. And there's also a few cases where, like, enemies were just straight up could not be killed by it. Like, the walkers in Starman stage, like, cannot be killed by Gravity Hold.
Huh.
I'm like, oh, that's, you know... If you gave me a Screen Nuke that can't kill things, like, that's automatically, like, pretty bad.
Yeah, it makes you stand up a lot worse against your cousins there, so to speak.
Yeah, and then right below Gravity Hold. So
this is an interesting little room, the little dissection area.
Oh yeah, it's like a little mess hall. Yeah, it's like trying to do a bit of a Doom Q thing. So it's like the the mess hall where they don't eat their health and armor bonuses.
Yeah, I guess so. That is the health and armor bonuses. For some reason, I was more thinking along the lines of like, okay, this is where the demons drag the marine corpses here to, I don't know, dissect them for fun because they're sickos.
I mean, that could also be it. I mean, I guess it's all up to interpretation, really.
I suppose.
But I always just kind of figured that it was a mess hall because it's like, oh, they're eating the corpses of people, and then they have like the health bonuses through the little drinks.
It makes more sense, yeah. I think it's only because of my science-pilled brain where I'm like, oh yeah, this is like a this looks like a veterinary student's lab room.
Doom maps are like abstract art. Sometimes it's everyone has a different interpretation of what it's supposed to be.
Look at this portrait of Doom guy. What do you see in his face? The fucking Rorschach test.
Right.
Fuck. Look, I expected a chain gunner, but like, I did not expect to like, I did not expect to have right there and to also like drop 5 frames at the exact same time that happened.
Oh yeah, that's funny. Chain gunner kills your frame rate too. That's hilarious.
And chain gunner is all powerful.
But yeah, then directly below gravity hold at bottom 11 was surprisingly charge kick. Which I was surprised by because I'm like, well, it gives you iframes, right? So it's like this thing's got to be a lot more useful. I realized that charge kick ended up scoring as low as it did because Mega Man 5 stage design does not in any way benefit charge kick. There's
only so many grounded enemies to kick with it, and it kind of becomes a little hard to use sometimes. Although I don't know, I think it ends up holding up. It holds up when you can actually use it. That's just the thing, though.
Here's the crazy thing about charge kick is that it actually got an additional stage grade in Waveman stage because I ended up kind of cutting out Waveman stage for a lot of the grading for other special weapons because like the first half of Waveman stage is just either hazards or enemies that are completely invincible, and then the second half is jet bike section where you can't use special weapons. So like, what am I gonna give every fucking Mega Man 5 weapon a 0?
Right. It doesn't make sense in the average. It's like
that seemed like kind of.
But I'm pretty sure where you're going with this is that charge kick is the only weapon that can actually destroy those little spiky things, or is it just that you can get through Waveman's obstacles?
It doesn't destroy them, but it helps you speed run through the first section so fast that I actually gave it like a pretty decently high score. I think it scored like an 81.25 out of 100 for Waveman stage as like an extra. So it's like, oh, so this should help it immensely. And then it scored a 0 in Wily 1.
Oof.
So, like, yeah.
Well, spit in one hand, kick in the other. I guess that's they say.
It is very much a case of, like, and keep in mind that my current grades are not going to be the final grades. It's more like the tier grading right now is mostly based on stage performance. So, like, that's why weapons are kind of, like, graded where they're at. So, like, stuff will be adjusted at some point. But, yeah, Charge Kick ended up as a bottom 11 weapon currently because it just struggles with how that game is designed. And it's I feel fucking bad because I love Charge Kick.
That is bleak.
Yeah, that's all it's... And then Star Crash ended up in B-. Funnily enough, Star Crash got in the exact same tier as both Skull Barrier and Plant Barrier. But it ended up scoring the worst out of all three of the sequel trilogy shields.
It does make the sense. It makes sense because, like, yeah, Star Crash is it's just effectively it neither does much damage. It takes a fair amount of energy to actually use, and it's like the stuff you can protect yourself from in that game, it doesn't really make sense to protect yourself from. Like, it's not even like it's a very... Mega Man 5 is not a very, like, bullet-heavy game. There's not many bullets to, like, shield yourself from, or, like, little up-and-down type enemies. It's kind of, like, weird. Yeah, hey, D, it doesn't have high damage like Plant Barrier, and it's, like, most of the enemies within 5 are, like, well, yeah, you could shield yourself from the Lyric, but you could also, like, use anything else to kill the Lyric.
Yeah. So they completely defeat the purpose of it, yeah. Yeah, so Star Crash ended up performing the worst. And it's like, honestly, realizing it, Star Crash is almost like if you tried to fuse together Plant Barrier and Skull Barrier and average it out, and then also give you the ability to fire it like Leaf Shield, and it still ended up performing significantly worse than all 3 shields.
Yeah, sometimes averaging things out doesn't exactly make for the best product.
Yeah. Yeah, Plant Barrier, I was like, oh, like, I think if any of the shields are going to potentially break into, like B tier with a lot of the other weapons, it's going to be Plant Barrier because of how high the damage is. But yeah, the ammo cost on that thing is just too friggin' high.
Yeah.
I think if it was like a 2 ammo per shot weapon instead of a 4 ammo per shot, I think I could see a potential for it being in like A tier. Like it is that high damage. Like
sorry, which one are we talking about? Plant Barrier?
Plant Barrier, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I believe the highest damage weapon in Mega Man 6, without including Power Adapter, is Flame Blast. Like, you can kill, like, essentially, like, the Big Eye equivalent in Mega Man 6 with, like, 3 Flame Blasts. You could also kill them with the same amount of Plant Barriers. So, like, that gives you an idea on how good the damage on Plant Barrier is.
Yeah, no, Plant Barrier is pretty damn good.
Yeah, the ammo cost just killed it. Which sucks too. Because one of the other things about Plant Barrier that I think is also super neat that I don't see a lot of people talk about is that it doesn't disappear when coming into contact with shielded enemies. If a shield attacker runs into you while you have the shield up, it will just ignore the shield and then damage them when it gets to the back part.
Huh.
So it's actually really, really good at dealing with Mets and shield attackers in 6.
Good to know. Missiles have 10 HP. You've never managed to kill one of them, D. Yeah, no, that's fair. It's definitely very hard to kill a missile. Like, I think the only 2 ways to, like, really effectively kill one is, like, either turbo spamming super arrow or, like, beat. Outside of that, it's not typically gonna happen.
I think you could also turbo Napalm Bomb, too, but that would also imply that you'd have to go back into Napalm Man stage to test that, so...
Well, isn't there also the problem of Napalm Bomb incurring iframes as well?
Technically that's true, but if you're close enough to them, it shouldn't be a problem.
Also, yeah, D, I did notice that that all of the health packs are actually green crosses in this port of the game instead of like the red in the original. For the good old. Thanks to the good old Red Cross being angry that the Red Cross gets used in video games and other media.
I mean, I prefer the green crosses over what one of the things they used to have was little pill boxes. I'm like, oh, that's disgusting.
Yeah, the Red Crosses are nicer, but it is
the green
still
crosses. So yeah, I can.
But
deal
that's
with that.
yeah, the green crosses are nicer.
Of course, you know, if you start playing any WADs via DSDA, I think a lot of them will use the Red Cross as the default, though. So, in case you have a preference, I guess that's one thing to keep in mind.
No, it's all right. Red is a solid color. I'll take it. I would say that red is probably one of my favorite colors, in fact. It's kind of a miracle that I did not make myself a red and black model, but that's only because I did not want to turn into an edgelord.
Yeah, red used to be my favorite color, and then I realized that purple was more based.
Fair. I've gone through multiple favorite colors in my whole life. I mean, I have started off as kind of like a teal enjoyer, and then I was like a pink kid for a while. I liked pink quite a bit. Then I settled on red and black for a long time because I kind of got into that, you know, teenage Shadow the Hedgehog aesthetic. And nowadays, I would say
everyone has that phase at some point in their life, right?
Yeah, you know, it's just inevitable. I think red is still up there as one of my favorite colors, although I don't know. If I were to think about things a little bit more, I could probably come up with one where I'm like, ooh, no, that's actually like perfect. I do like the shade of like blue-ish purple that I have right now for Crash quite a bit. It's quite nice. It's right on that border between being too deep of a purple, but it's kind of blue. I tend to like those colors that do kind of make people debate, like, well, what fucking color is this? Because it's kind of like, it's just fun to, like, you know, mess with people and spur that kind of thing on.
Right, the perfect blend, of course.
I got into a debate once with,
Wait. I remember black and yellow was my favorite color combo when I was like 4. Well, you must have been a Wiz Khalifa fan back then.
Zing! But once I got into a debate with like is with my dad and his girlfriend at the time, was like she was saying this one color on my dad's jacket, the back of my dad's jacket was pink, and I'm saying like, no, that's salmon. That's a slightly different color. And we kind of keep going back and forth about like what color salmon and pink is and blah blah blah, and it kind of ultimately determines, and it's like, oh, you men just won't fucking admit that that's just he's wearing pink. It's fine. I'm like, I have a pink shirt that I wear routinely. That's not pink. It's like kind of orange. It's salmon. Like, it's a distinctly different color. Would you not? Have you ever gotten into a fight like that?
Oh yeah, no, I've gotten into that fight a lot of times, especially with my sister. And then I took a color psychology class, and I came to the realization that, as it turns out, men and women actually do see in different shades.
Yes, we do. But that was kind of also the ironic thing, where it's kind of like, I know that it's like, women tend to actually have, what was it? They have more distinctions between like reds and greens, or just in general.
I could have sworn. I thought it was. I believe the way it was like, women have an easier time seeing tints, and men have an easier time seeing shades, or it's the reverse of that. I forget.
Oh.
It's been like a year since I took that class.
I didn't know there was a side grade aspect to it. I thought it was just kind of a one had the downgrade, and that sucks.
No, it's like, it's literally, yeah, they had like see completely different. Well, the other thing I also learned from that class too was, I can't remember if I mentioned this on stream, that old people actually do start to see in sepia tone.
What the fuck?
Yeah, like apparently, like if you know, eventually start getting enough like degenerative like eye damage from just aging, that you actually do start seeing in sepia tone.
That's weird, but I guess that is kind of a form of color blindness that, you know, certain people are born with, so it kind of makes sense that eventually that just might be your fate.
Yeah. I mean, or my professor was completely full of shit, but I'd like to give her the benefit of the doubt.
Crash has the bad man shirt. Elaborate.
I know what he's talking about. He's talking about the pink Vegeta shirt.
Oh. I am completely unawares.
Yeah, it's when Frieza was coming back to Earth to fuck up the planet when Goku got back, and then Vegeta, because his Saiyan armor got put in the wash, he had to just find a random shirt to put on to face Frieza with, and it was literally the pinkest fucking shirt that had the words "Bad Man" written on the back of it.
That sounds like something I would wear to the function.
And I mean, considering how many Dragon Ball fans there are in the world, I think they would appreciate you wearing that to a function too. Yeah,
until I tell them that, until they're like, oh man, what's your favorite episode? I'm like, I like the one where Goku was bawling. I've never watched this series. They're gonna be like, all right, fucking cast him into the fires of hell.
No, you should have just been like, I like the episode where Goku drove a car, and then everyone knows what you're talking about. Even though you might not.
No. Yeah, I imagine it's much like the reception where you see like a 14-year-old wearing a Nirvana shirt, and it's like, you've never fucking listened to Nirvana in your life.
See, the thing is, it's like, it would be so easy for them to, like, you know, mask it. It's just like, oh, what's your favorite Nirvana song? It's like, I mean, I just think Smells Like Teen Spirit's a good song, even if I'm basic. Like, all right, whatever.
Right.
It's fine.
It's fine. There's no shame in that. But then sometimes it's just like, okay, you're wearing this as like a... Why? You don't even like anything from them. It's weird. Maybe they just don't realize it's a band logo.
I've seen on occasion sometimes with people wearing like Metallica shirts. They're like, "Oh yeah, what's your favorite album?" And that would be like Master of Puppets. They're like, "Yeah, that's fine. It's a good album."
That makes sense.
Like, it's probably the only album they know. They probably never actually listened to it, but you know what? It's a fucking good album. So it's like, hey, you can fucking match it.
It's a good album, and you know what? It's an album, and you have listened to it. So like, good on you. I will take the bare fucking minimum. I'm happy with that.
It just feels like one of those fucking like RPG choices where it's the I need to you know, blend in to the surroundings so I can complete a stealth mission. So it's like, oh, what's your favorite Metallica album? Oh, Master of Puppets. And then I feel like the fucking most obtuse one would be like, oh, what's your favorite Metallica album? And then just say Saint Anger, and the fucking everyone in the room just looks at you suspiciously.
Yeah, that's a everybody is now aware of your presence kind of thing. That's like, almost like flashing up, you know, an Inglorious Bastards moment where you flash up the 3 with the wrong fingers, and that's just the indicator. It's like, oh, yeah, this guy's a spy.
It's like, oops.
He looked up just, you know, albums on Wikipedia, Metallica albums on Wikipedia, and so that was the first result.
I don't know why that would be the first result. That
Maybe
would
it's just
that would be
a result.
Yeah.
Okay, so that fence just leads to the same place, so that's not anything. What else can I do around here?
Oh, there's a button you have to hit. That'll lower the fencing. Oh yeah, the room.
Okay.
Yeah, the first room. So that room that you took the elevator up to, that has the switch that lowers the fences.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Although getting back to the Mega Man grading stuff, although I know since Super Arrow got mentioned, I actually did decide to grade that for shits and giggles just to see how it performed.
Yeah.
It tied with Crystal Eye, which is really funny.
Yeah, I mean it kind of makes sense because Super Arrow, while it is actually surprisingly good at fighting things, it is still a utility, and like it is very energy hungry if you miss. That's just like a huge.
Actually, it only uses 2 ammo per shot, which is cheap. It only uses more ammo if you're riding it.
That's right. That's right.
Oh yeah, if you're only using it to try to kill enemies with it, it's actually decently ammo efficient, and I believe it has the same damage as both Napalm Bomb and Gyro Attack too. So it's like actually not that bad. It's kind of fucked though that the 3rd best special weapon in fucking Mega Man 5 is the fucking utility weapon.
Yeah.
But,
I'm sorry. I just think I realized how I was supposed to get out into the courtyard here, but I missed that opportunity. I was probably supposed to ride this thing as it was coming up out of the ground.
Oh no! There's line devs that prevent you from going outside. Those don't lead to anything. They just have caca demons in them.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll take the extra kill count. That's fine. I thought I would have to go out based on that very weird line dev to the east, but right.
Oh no! So that little like thin thing over to the side there, that is a monster alert thing. So like a bunch of monsters that teleport in, like when you got the yellow key or whatever. That's the room that they're stored in. So like it alerts them to it.
Gotcha.
That's what that is. It's like most of the time, map makers will make those invisible as to not confuse people. But yeah, sometimes they get left.
Yeah, you know, things slip through.
Left visible, so like, oh, what the hell is that? But so, yeah, if you played enough maps, like you start to realize, oh, that's probably just a sound detector for the monster closet.
Gonna look for the secret for a moment here. Think that I see something strange in here, perhaps. There we go.
You got it. Oh, backpack.
Nice.
That's good.
Hooray!
And then to finish out the Mega Man 5 weapon tiering discussions, of course, we have to talk about your unfortunate child, Water Wave.
Yeah, I know. It's like what, 3rd worst weapon in the whole series?
Bottom 4.
Bottom 4.
So not. Yeah, the weapons that were worse than it were Spark Shock,
obviously
by a wide margin. Super Arm, because of just the limited usage rate of it, and Time Stopper because it's basically like a one and done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have noticed.
Yeah, in terms of like.
I was going to ask though, when you were using Super Arm, did you end up ever did you end up factoring like the weird like block duplication glitch you can get with Super Arm sometimes into your assessment? Because I've noticed occasionally you can pick up the block and like it doesn't actually pick up, but you can have more of them.
I didn't really factor it in, but basically like even though Super Arm I would consider the 2nd worst Classic Series weapon, I think the reason why it ended up still scoring like quite a bit higher than Spark Shock was because you can use it to a semi-effective state for Cutman stage. Just because of like the amount of blocks that you can get in that stage, but a lot of the other stages where like, because it's like.
Also, just the fact that you can in fact kill things with it is a big up compared to Spark Shock.
Yeah, which helps too. It's like by technical standards, Super Arm is has the highest damage out of any of the Mega Man weapons because you could 3-shot Big Eyes with it.
Yeah.
It's just too bad there's only one or two spots in the entire game where you can actively do that.
Yeah.
Is the problem. So yeah, Super Arm is just like, it got graded as low as it did because it is literally unusable in like so many of the stages, and it's like this isn't a case where like, oh, you know, I'm not gonna count Waveman for most of the weapons in the game because, you know, what would be the point in giving everything a 0? But for something like Super Arm, it's like, you know, the average then would be like, it would somehow score as high as like B- tier because it can only grade 4 stages, and it's like, that doesn't make any fucking sense.
Yeah, I think it's
So,
fair
like-
to definitely count like Super Arm stuff against Super Arm because of like, you know, you can't use it most of the game. It's like, well, that definitely factors into it. That's a problem. It's different
Yeah,
compared to you know, going into Waveman stage where it's like, okay, well, it's more that like just nothing can be done in this stage, so why screw with it for like, why screw up every other thing's evaluation as a result?
Yeah. Yeah, so it's like, and like with Super Arm especially, it's like, you know, it only appears in 6 out of the 10 stages in the game, and even then saying that it appears in 6 is being overly generous because it appears in Cutman stage, you know, pretty frequently.
Right.
There a couple of spots in Electman stage, to the point where like, if I was grading it for a, you know, actually being able to use against enemies, there is one spot in the entirety of Electman stage where I can reasonably grade it against enemies. So that was not, you know, a great sign.
Yeah.
It appears in Gutsman's own stage in his boss room. So
Yeah,
might as well not
that's
even count it.
It is
It
funny.
appears in Wily 1, which you're probably not even using for most enemy combat, so it scored low there.
Right.
It appears in one spot in Wily 4, which you might use to kill like 1 or 2 screw bombers with. And then it appears in the Wily 3 boss room, which I didn't count because boss stuff is getting graded separately on how effective it is. So yeah, Super Arm scored as low as it did because it just can't be used in most spots, and it still fucking did way better than fucking Spark Shock did.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I have to look up the final tally again, but I believe Super Arm scored like a 9.28 out of 100. Spark Shock got like a 3.1.
Yeah, that makes sense. Ugh.
Just like,
Oh, D, I'm glad you pointed out something about the song, because I also would like to say, I'm not digging this song. It's that guitar or whatever they're using is like kind of grating my ears a little bit. I think I'm gonna change over to the remix, honestly. Sorry. Oh, that's not much better.
yeah, joke's on you, pal. He only remixed the first 2 Doom games.
Fuck me. All right. Never mind. The guitar is kind of hilarious, but I don't know. It's something about the frequency being directly blasted in my ears where I'm just like, this is not... I don't want to listen to this.
Well, luckily, this is the only stage that has this where the song appears in, so you don't gotta worry about it after this.
Yeah. It's definitely funny. You could use this for certainly some situations. If you wanted to make it I don't know, put it this way, if we wanted to have the Doom Undertale AU, then I would use this as like the that one like little flowy interlude where like it goes bum 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 kind of thing.
Oh, I thought, honestly, I feel like there could be a potential argument to use this for like the long hallway section, where Toriel just leaves you on your own.
Oh yeah, that works too. It's been a very long time since I've seen that section of the game, so I haven't thought about it.
But yeah, to get back to Water Wave, yeah, it did pretty abysmally in a lot of stages. Funnily enough, though, despite how bad it did in a lot of stages, at no point did it score a 0. Charge Kick was the only weapon in Mega Man 5 that scored a 0 in any of the stages. Water Wave at least scored like a 6 in like a few stages out of 100. So it's like, yeah, this is bad, but you know, it's like, I guess it didn't do like, you know, that bad terribly, but yeah, the averaging for that thing was just abysmal. I think like the best stage it performed in, it still only got like a 43 out of 100, which is like, oh yeah, this is not good.
No, not a great score.
And yeah, it's just like, you know, you think about all the limitations of Power Stone that, you know, forced it to sort of get limited pretty low. Oh, hey, look, an Archfiles, reviving all of your friends.
Oh, I love Archfiles. Die!
Fuck you!
Fuck you, Norway!
And yeah, you think about all the limitations that Power Stone had to deal with, and the fact that like it was still able to score. Oh man, you fucking ate that.
Yeah, I facepalmed the moment that happened. That sucks. Okay.
80 damage rocket. See, even when you're not face rocketing yourself, the Revenant got you covered.
Yeah, the Revenant's like, oh, don't worry, bro. I know you want to restart like the last 5 minutes of progress.
Oh boy.
Wait, what the fuck am I doing? Oh, that's why I'm not using that.
That's why. I feel like that's probably why, because Auto Wave is gonna fuck you.
No, it was the chain gunner that got to me first. Maybe I can...
Yeah, it's like you think about all the limitations that Power Stone had to deal with, like the alter trajectory, the low damage, the fact that it gets deflected and whatever. And it's like Water Wave has to deal with so much more shit because it's like, 14-shot weapon. It has to deal with the fact that you can only use it on the ground. It has to deal with the fact that even while on the ground, there are certain surfaces where you can't even use it on for one reason or another. And then one of the biggest issues with Water Wave is just because of how Mega Man 5 is designed, that enemies have iframes.
Yeah.
So it's like, you have three, it makes 3 waves. It might as well only make 1, because that's the only wave that's ever going to be doing damage to enemies. Under most circumstances. And it's like, wow, this is terrible.
But Grim, what if you set yourself up for the niche situation where you can hit 3 1-health enemies in a row? That only happens like once in the whole game.
It did in fact come up quite a bit. It still scored really low. Because, yeah, that does show up in quite a few stages. You want to know what else shows up in a bunch of stages? Aerial enemies you can't hit!
For as many situations as it's good in, there's also as many situations that it in fact does not excel in.
Yeah, or just a bunch of enemies that, like, even though they're perfectly grounded, you can't hit them because they have weak points that are on the top and, like, an entire bottom half that you can't hit. The walkers in Starman stage can't hit. The big missile-firing guys that are, like, show up as, like, kind of mid-bosses in Napalm Man stage, yeah, you're not killing them with Water Wave. That ain't doing shit.
Nope, there are definitely some situations where Water Wave cannot be applied.
Honestly, the only thing about Water Wave that I ended up finding kind of crazy in the long run is the fact that it somehow scored lower than Bubble Lead. But granted, not by a wide margin. I believe Water Wave got like a 19.28 and Bubble Lead got like a 21.15. So it wasn't by a wide margin, but like, yeah, that's still pretty rough.
I mean, I can believe it. If I'm being charitable to your opinion and evaluation of Water Wave, I can, in fact, believe it. Like, I don't use Bubble Lead much in Mega Man 2, but, like, the times I do pull it out, it's like, well, it's not horrible. It does, like, okay damage for, like, what it is, and, like, you know exactly what enemies to use it against, considering that I'm pretty sure Mega Man 2 definitely has, like, specific weapon weaknesses for robots as well.
I'm kinda, but also sorta not really. And there's also just a lot of cases where, like, why are these enemies randomly immune to it? It's just like, oh, well, most things wouldn't be hurt by Bubble. Okay, but does 95% of the enemies in the game have to be immune to Bubble? Like, come on.
Most things wouldn't be hurt by Boomerang either, but, that doesn't seem to stop you guys.
Well, that's also sort of the fucked up part, too, dude. Speaking of Boomerang, is the fact that, like, you think, like, oh, well, Bubble at least has these, parts where it's, like, semi-good, right? And then you realize that Quick Boomerang does the same fucking amount of damage as it.
Oh, yeah. And the cast is not immune to Quick Boomerang.
Yeah, it's like, Quick Boomerang, I believe, does 1 damage to every enemy in the game, at the very least. So it's like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
And it's like the one enemy I'd at least expect to be like, okay, well, this is the absolutely, like, dedicated enemy that that Bubble Lead is really good against, right? The Spring Heads. Like, it's gotta be the best thing for them, right? Dies to 3 Bubble Lead shots, dies to 3 Quick Boomerang. And in Wily Wars, it's even funnier because they die to 1 Quick Boomerang in that game and still die to 3 Bubble Lead in it. Like, I think the development just hated fucking Bubbles. Like, that's the only conclusion I can come to. Because, like, at that point, that's just bullying. But... So yeah, a lot of Mega Man 5 stuff scored pretty low. I believe Mega Man 5 was the only game so far that I have graded where there was not a single S tier. Gyro Attack got as high as A tier. And I believe Napalm Bomb was at, like, top of B tier, I believe.
Yeah, that's
So,
pretty
that gives you a
believable.
pretty good idea.
I believe
pretty good
that.
idea of where everything goes.
Like, I like Mega Man 5's weapon set, but, you know, I do admit there are no stellar weapons among the selection.
Yeah, especially comparing them to the other games, too. It's like, yeah, not great.
Now, I guess my curiosity for you is, has your opinion of Mega Man 5's weapon set overall improved since before? Because I know you were not really a huge fan of it.
I mean, I'm still not, for the most part. I always kind of figured the gyro attack was really good. You ended up changing my opinion on Napalm Bomb, because I always kind of thought it was sort of like whatever. And then I realized, oh wait, no, this thing's damage output is insane.
Yeah.
Like, it is good, but yeah, the couple of faults it does have kind of limited a bit. But I mean, hey, it's still scored to, like, you know, top of B+ tier. So like that's you know, can't shake that. Like, that's still really good.
Also, D, silence, no puns. We got rid of puns back at the door phase of the Crash
Our
Icarus
Crash is pretty
experience.
stellar. I think it's very much the opposite of that in terms of performance.
No puns. Anyways.
Yeah, I think my opinion on Star Crash ended up dropping a bit. Power Stone went up a bit. Gravity Hold kind of stayed about the same. I always kind of thought it was like the worst screen clear weapon. Crystal Eye went up for me. Just at least being able to use it as just like a, you know, hey, it's a big buster. You know, without even considering like the rebounding.
Yeah, that's actually a pretty good aspect of Crystal Eye that I was never really cognizant of. I always figured that like the just using the regular shot, like I knew it was, you know, kind of powerful, but like at least more powerful than a lemon, but I didn't feel like it was like worth using in most circumstances. But
I think Crystal Eye does 2 damage, I believe. So it's like okay. It's still weaker than, you know, Mega Man 5 Charge Shot is in terms of damage, but like, hey, you know, for spamability, especially at close range, like it's not bad at it. And then yeah, as far as what the other ones? Yeah, my opinion went down for Star Crash. Yeah, Charge Kick. My opinion has not changed on Charge Kick. It's just the only thing that's changed on my opinion of Charge Kick is just coming to the realization that Mega Man 5 was not fucking designed with Charge Kick in mind, which is a goddamn shame.
True.
And then my opinion of Water Wave somehow went even lower, because the thing is, I always kind of thought Water Wave was the worst weapon in 5, and then I realized, oh wait, it's somehow even worse than I could have possibly imagined.
That's a reload.
So, yeah, getting face full of Mancubus Fireball.
Yeah, no need to take that if I don't have to.
Yeah. And then Mega Man 6 was more or less what I expected, where most of the weapons in that game were mid, and then 3 of them were just complete fucking S tier, like dominant.
Yeah, that makes sense. Here's, which I'm guessing, let's see. Flame Blast was, you already mentioned, that was one of them. Then I know it's not Yamato Sphere.
Yeah, Yamato Sphere, I believe, right now is at top of B tier.
Let's see, what else? Did Night Crush make it up as one of your top 3?
Night Crush did make it up in the top 3. Do you want to know the most surprising bit, though?
Yeah, go ahead.
According to my current grading rubric, which again will be adjusted since I'm again only doing stage performance right now. Second to only Metal Blade, Night Crusher, which was very surprising.
I feel like that says something about your rubric than it does about Night Crush, honestly, because like it's definitely good and widely applicable throughout the game. Well, okay, how wide of the margin between it and Metal Blade was there?
I believe the margin between the two of them was like, it was less than 1 point. I want to say, I mean, I don't have the thing right up right now, but I believe Metal Blade was a 95.32. And I believe Night Crush was a 94.62, so like a 0.7 difference.
All right, I have a hard time believing that those two are that close in performance.
So generally the reason why I realized this is because while I was grading for Metal Blade ended up scoring lower, not like necessarily like abysmally, but like it was like, oh, it got a perfect score in like most of the stages, and then like the other stages it's like, okay, it got like an 80 for these. Metal Blade scored lower than normal for like Flashman, which I realized for because so many sniper armors are in that stage, which it doesn't do shit against. And I believe it also kind of scored a bit lower for Quickman as well, because it didn't really perform any better or worse compared to a lot of other stuff did. So, like, that's what I mean mostly for, like, the grading rubric. And, like, I believe I also mentioned this for Mega Man 2's grading rubric, is that I basically had to cut out, like, most of Wily Castle because it would just completely skew, like, some weapons into being way fucking worse than they probably should be. Like, I had to take out, like, Wily 2 had to be removed, Wily 3 had to be removed, Wily 4 had to be removed. And well, funnily enough, if I even kept Wily 4, that probably would have brought Metal Blade's overall score down even lower because of the amount of sniper armors in that stage. So, yeah, that's what I mean. There's still probably going to be some adjustment. I'm pretty sure that Metal Blade is still going to end up scoring a lot higher by the time I'm finished with the rubric. Because, like I said, this is mostly just stage performance shit right now. I was just surprised that Night Crush scored as high as it did.
That is, yeah.
Especially considering that, like, it beat out both, you know, Flash Stopper and Pharaoh Shot. Like, that is really something. That seems wild.
Yeah, that does seem kind of crazy to me, because Night Crush is good. It is not as brazenly overpowered as something like I would think Flash Stopper is.
Yeah. Well, Flash Stopper was also kind of insane, too, because especially testing with the infinite ammo codes, it's like, oh, this completely fucks Mega Man 4.
Right.
But, you know, I'm also taking into account, too, that, like, Flash Stopper is also a weapon that, like, you know, uses a good amount of ammo. And honestly, I feel like if I can name one negative about Flash Stopper is that you can't tell when the actual flash is going to end, so sometimes you accidentally use a second use of it you didn't want to.
Yeah, it is a bit of a pain in the ass.
You know, it's not really enough to be like, oh, it's F tier now, but, like, yeah, it's... Flash Stopper is still pretty damn good. And honestly, I think realizing the amount of ammo pickups that even show up in Mega Man 4, there's probably a good chance that once I redo the grading rubric, it's probably going to end up scoring higher than Crusher overall. But, yeah, Crusher is good. I mean, I definitely think at the very least Crusher is a top 10 Classic Series weapon.
I could see it. Hey, let me read the dialogue here. You hear the grinding of heavy machinery ahead. You sure hope they're not stamping out new hellspawn, but you're ready to ream a whole herd if you have to. They might be planning a blood feast, but you feel about as mean as 2,000 maniacs packed into one mad killer. You don't plan to go down easy. Cheesy writing. Good.
Yeah, it was still the 90s.
It was still the 90s. We can give it some passes.
Oh yeah, and then the other S tier was Tomahawk.
Ah, yeah, that makes sense. Tomahawk has really good energy to damage ratio. And I guess the angle is sometimes helpful. I don't know. I never liked the angle, but it works.
It's a little awkward, but it's not unusable. And honestly, yeah. Tomahawk also ended up scoring as high as it did because it's still more or less like a buster type replacement weapon, and like, you know, it can actually hit some things at a good angle with like some good damage on it. So, you know, still pretty good. But I think overall though, Tomahawk scored. I think, like, closer to, like, the bottom of S tier compared to a lot of stuff, because, like, you know, you're competing with stuff like, you know, Thunderbolt, Thunder Beam, Firestorm.
Tomahawk's just not quite as widely applicable. I hear what you're saying.
Yeah. I do think Tomahawk actually did score higher than Shadowblade, though.
That makes sense. Shadowblade kind of has limitations. The range on Shadowblade does not help.
Yeah, the range and also the lack of follow-through probably doesn't help either.
Last time you played 6, you had this hilariously embarrassing fight against Power Piston where you kept missing your shots over and over. Yeah, Power Piston will do that to you. Power Piston's kind of a troll.
I was doing the testing while I was like trying to get through like the X stages and the Wily stages, and I was just like, whatever, I gotta fucking get through Power Piston, so whatever, I'll just kill him with Tomahawk. And I missed like 90% of my shots, and I'm like, what the fuck is happening?
Yeah, Power Piston does have that kind of troll ability where it's like, oh, hey, actually, you're about to hit me? Nope, psych. I'm going down now.
He is really good at juking you. I will not lie.
It is messed up. Even with the weapon that's supposed to be best at actually, you know, harming him.
But yeah, a lot of the other, pretty much every other weapon in 6 that wasn't Tomahawk, Crusher, or Blast ended up in B tier. Which did not surprise me in the slightest, because a lot of 6's stuff is like, yeah, it's fine. I kind of thought, like, Yamato Spear was going to end up scoring lower, because I didn't remember it being that good, but it's like, the damage is solid on it, and, like, the few times where it can actually use it with enemies, it's not terrible.
See?
You know, I always kind of had an issue with, like... I just had an issue with it because it was like, oh, it has like the weird random offset, which actually, when I tested it, turns out the offset is not random.
Yeah, it's up, down, up, down.
Yeah, it's up, down, up, down. But apparently, and this is the really fucked thing about it that I didn't realize. It's based on whether or not it fires up or down is based on how much ammo is left. If you have an even number of ammo left, it shoots up. If you have an odd number of ammo left, it shoots down.
I mean, that is a pretty efficient way to program it if you think about it.
Well, the reason why I actually realized that was because the infinite ammo code for 6 isn't a, oh, doesn't use ammo. It's a, oh, you can keep using weapon even when out of ammo code. Because I guess no one made like a traditional infinite ammo code for Mega Man 6 on NES. But then what ended up happening was that I would be completely out of ammo on Yamato Spear, and then while I have 0 ammo, every single shot of Yamato Spear was going up. So
that's a fun way to figure that out.
Yeah, so that's how that works? Alright.
I suppose that's better than, you know, at least having just a random, like... If it was alternating, but then I'm thinking of the idea of, like, well, what if it was, like, Luigi's down special in Melee, where it's just, like, reads garbage day, and it's, like, up, down, it's charged, yeah, sure, why not? But then you go to Nightman stage, and it's not.
Yeah, because I used to think that Yamato Spear's, like, you know, random offset was, like, a lot bigger in terms of, like, the amount of variance you can get on it than it actually was. But then I'm realizing, oh, you know what, Yamato Spear isn't that bad, because, like, if you use it at, like, close range, it basically doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It does really limit it in terms of its long-range potential, but, like, under most circumstances, like, okay, this isn't that bad. And then, yeah, so Centaur Flash scored, like, you know, kind of about mid, because, like, yeah, it's a screen clear weapon, it's still using 4 ammo per shot, but unlike Gravity Hold, it does 2 damage per hit.
Ooh. So, monkey-like.
I mean, hey, it's double damage. That automatically kind of makes it a little bit better. Oh, and also, unlike Gravity Hold, if you kill enemies with Centaur Flash, they still drop items, which is also very nice.
Yeah, that is kind of a stupid thing about Gravity Hold.
And then Windstorm also scored mid, because it, like, also kind of has decent damage, but it was, like... I feel like if Bubble Lead could actually be used against, like, more enemies, it probably would score about the same position as Windstorm did.
Yeah, I definitely don't like Windstorm. It's the only weapon in 6 that I just don't use very often, and, like, even if I do decide to use it, I immediately regret using it. I'm just like, this sucks. This is not fun.
Yeah, it's like, it's slow, you kill things with it, they don't drop items. And then the other thing I also realized is that technically if you kill an enemy with Windstorm, it doesn't actually kill them. So while they're getting flown up with Windstorm, you could still, like, run into them and take damage.
Yeah, their hitbox is still there, which is just like, come on.
It's so dumb. But using Windstorm on a bunch of enemies was really funny in a couple of cases, because I believe I had one instance where I Windstormed an enemy, and then as it was rising up, the Windstorm killed another enemy along with it, so it dragged both of them with one tornado.
Oh, nice.
And then another thing that I also realized that's just sort of really funny from just like I guess how like graphically it works. If you kill a shield attacker with Windstorm, they just start freaking the fuck out.
Huh. I don't think I've actually ever bothered to do that to one of them. I'll have to test
They
that
basically
out.
do their turnaround animation like really fast, alternating like in each direction.
Oh, because really they're trapped in a certain spot.
Yeah,
that's fun.
Like, help me!
oh god, this is
Oh yeah, the Arachnotron who's embedded in a wall that shoots you. Right.
Interesting.
And then yeah, the absolute like, you know, oddball fucking weapon of 6 was Blizzard Attack. Which like, that's one of those weapons where like if you just looked at like how it functions, like if you just looked at it numerically without actually trying to use it, you'd be like, this has got to be one of the worst weapons in the classic series. It's like each projectile only does 1 damage. It uses 3 ammo per shot for some fucking reason. It's incredibly slow. You can only have 1 on screen at any given time. It's like, this thing is horrendous. And it's surprisingly though, because of like where the projectiles actually angle at, it performed better than I was expecting to.
Yeah, it's just one of those cases of like it actually just manages to hit all the little light enemies in the air pretty effectively.
Yeah. Although the one thing about Blizzard Attack that I absolutely fucking loathe about it is that, so you know how when it creates like the 4 snowflakes, it makes like the 2 that fly forward at like the same time? If you hit an enemy with both of those at the same time, it only counts as 1 damage because it has the stupid fucking you're hitting them on the same frame as they're getting damaged, so it only counts as 1.
Yeah.
So it's basically the Mega Man 5 iframe bullshit, but just for that one specific attack, which just sucks. So it's like the only way you're getting like the max damage potential out of Blizzard attack if you're doing it at this like really fucking weird angle.
Yeah, it's a shame. You can't even like get a a simple like, oh well, this is 2 hits in at once, like how other Mega Man games might do that. I had cough 10 cough. Yeah, it's a shame.
I think it's just a case of like the weird limitations of it being on the NES, so it's gonna have all those weird fucked like properties to it. Like I'd imagine that if like any of the NES games were remade in like a similar way to how like 9 and 10 were made, I guarantee a lot of the weapons would automatically be a lot better to use because of just the fucking back-end coding of how everything works.
Right. It wouldn't have been jammed out in like 4 months. It would have been actually, they spent at least a year on it.
Yeah. Well, it's also the reason why you
modern.
don't really see. It's also the reason why multi-hit weapons in like the NES games are basically just like some of the worst fucking performing weapons in a lot of cases, or have like really bad consistency issues with them. Because it's like because it's like if you have a projectile that's constantly inside of an enemy's hitbox, it only counts as 1 damage because it only applies new damage after it's left the enemy hitbox. So like if you put a weapon like Laser Trident into like say Mega Man 2 for example, it'd probably be dog shit because of how the back end coding of that game works. That's why like a lot of the time like if you try hitting a sniper armor with air shooter, they'll sometimes like flash eternally and then still be up and running because that only counted as 1 hit.
Or they die instantly.
Yeah, or they die instantly if you have good spacing. That's also a problem that comes up a lot too with Mega Man 1 weapons. Because Mega Man 1 weapons have what I like to call pseudo-piercing, where they technically don't dissipate upon coming into contact with enemies, even if it's shielded, but it only counts as 1 hit. That's kind of the reason why like Cutter actually ended up scoring a lot lower on the grading rubric, because like that thing is abysmal for fucking Gutsman stage, especially when you have to fight the Picket Men.
Yeah, for some reason it takes like 8 rolling cutters to take out a Picket Man because of that weird damage calculation. Yeah,
it's like rolling cutter against the Picket Man and Gutsman stage is like, cool, I have to fight 4 Dark Souls bosses in a row. It's like it was awful.
And then meanwhile you take out Firestorm and they die instantly.
Yeah. Yeah, it is kind of insane how good Firestorm is in Mega Man 1. I believe in terms of the grading rubric, I believe Firestorm and Thunderbeam tied. But I think they're at least for me, I feel like Firestorm is the better of the 2 overall, just because I think Firestorm has just like slightly better recovery.
Yeah,
on it.
Hey, Bony boy.
Yeah, it's gonna be.
D, you're glad. Oh, D, you're glad the Megamix engine handles damage values in an easier to digest manner. Yes, it is.
Yeah,
it's good that we have modern coding.
Yeah, Megamix engine just handles a lot of the stuff better, and of course, a lot of the tweaks they made to weapons for like the various Magnums also helps a lot too. Like Slash Claw having like full piercing on every shield, which is nice, or Top Spin just giving you full invincibility while you're spinning.
Hell yeah!
Hell yeah! Like shit is the.
I wish partially my Mega Maker account, well, my previous one at least, was like still accessible, because it would be actually really nice to go and look at all the, tweaked weapons just to play around with them again.
Yeah,
it's probably one of my favorite parts.
Magnum 1R Thunderwool is also amazing too, because the cloud doesn't dissipate on anything, so it's basically just like you're always going to get the lightning blast because the cloud has a damaging hitbox that pierces, the lightning bolt has a damaging hitbox that pierces. So it's friggin' fantastic. I mean, hell, you could not get the fucking speedrun records I have for Justice Man if Thunderwool worked the fucking way it does in actual Mega Man 10.
I did something of a little speedrunning myself over the weekend, and by that I mean just doing, or yesterday night I did the, some of the challenges in, for the Mega Man Legacy Collection, just going through, parts of Mega Man 1 and 2 getting gold times, and doing it on the bosses is not that hard. But then doing Mega Man 2's boss rush to get all 8 of them down in under 2 minutes and 55 seconds, I think it was. That it was 2 minutes and 5 seconds. That was really tough because, like, not only is it just like you think of 2's bosses. 2's bosses on their own are not really all that hard to kill, except maybe Quickman. But then it's like you encounter issues of like, oh, well, Airman is going to chunk your health, and you really have no say in that whatsoever because of just how his tornadoes spawn.
If he decides to give you the undodgeable tornado patterns, yeah, he's annoying.
So that one hurts, and then you actually start have to like pray, and you start praying for a little bit of RNG against Heatman because of his random delays. So you actually kind of get in that full speedrunner mindset of, please, for the love of God, don't do a 96 frame delay. This is going to kill my my time.
Yeah.
And then who else? Crashman was still not hard. Bubble Man was still not hard. Because the order was the order was Heat, Crash, Bubble, then Air. Air was a big problem. And by the time you're done with Air, it's like, okay, well, I only have so much health left. Now I have to go past Wood, which isn't necessarily a problem, but like the fastest way I was still able to kill him was with Atomic Fire, two full Atomic Fire shots. So that took up a lot of time still because Atomic Fire.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like you're going to be using Atomic Fire for anything else. Technically, it's a secondary weakness for Quickman, but who the fuck would ever use it against Quickman?
Well, I don't know. It might be better than... It's a little bit better than Crash Bomb in some sense. Maybe you only have to hit him with one big charge one, because I ended up using Crash Bomb against Quickman, and like Quickman was kind of the run killer. I mean, not the run killer, but one of the run killers in that because of like... Well, you need to hit him with like at least like 3 Crash Bombs in order to get him into Flash Stopper range. So like,
did you unlock the challenge yet, where you have to fight all 46 Robot Masters with just a Buster?
Huh? No, I have not quite yet. But I would actually be looking forward to that one. That seems actually pretty manageable by my end. I don't know. Fast is difficult.
Yeah, I don't remember if I got a gold time on it, but yeah, I did eventually beat it, and it did force me to like eventually learn some of the patterns a lot more thoroughly. Like Electman Buster only is such a fucking stress test.
Well, I mean, I guess the question is it fast Buster? I mean, because I know the cheese strat against Electman. It
takes 1 damage from Buster.
Huh? What?
It takes 1 damage from Buster. Electman?
Right. But, like, you can at least cheese Electman a little bit by kind of just Pillsbury Doughboying him over and over again. He kind of has that knockback problem that Cutman also has. You just prop him up on the guts blocks, you just kind of, like,
there's a slight offset that you can't just keep doing it the entire time a la Fireman. So, like, there is eventually a point where, like, he will break out and you have to readjust again. So it's just, like, that's the fucking stressful part about it.
I've really never noticed that anytime I've fought Electman. That or it's been a very long time since I fought Electman, and it wasn't a problem for me last time.
Well, I believe the other thing also about the that like 46 Robot Master one is that it gives it to you randomly. So like a lot of the time, at least for me, I think I always tried to like constantly reset. I think to hopefully push to try to get Electman early as possible, because for me that's the most the most stressful one. Out of all of them, just because the guy can 3-shot you. Yeah,
no, Electman is pretty damn brutal for the classic series. It's not fair.
Yeah. Well, a lot of Mega Man ones, AI boss AI is kind of not great.
It's simple, but it has to get the job done with that simplicity, so they made them ludicrously difficult.
Yeah, or completely cheesable by, a fucking strategy, a la Fireman.
Fireman's, I think, is honestly the most egregious, like, boss design in all of the entire classic series. I really hate how Fireman is designed, because it's either... Oh yeah,
because you try to fight him like a normal person, and he's like, I'm going to spam until you are dead. And then you try to fight him like the cheese method, and he's just like, I can only do one thing.
Right, it's like, okay, either this fight literally boils down to either you know how to do it or you don't. It's fucking stupid.
Yeah, I hard agree. I mean, he may be my favorite Robot Master, but his boss fight still sucks.
Yeah.
And the thing is, even for Dr. Wily's Revenge, you could still do the same exploit in Fireman in that game.
Yep.
I think the Wily Wars version of Fireman, they do actually change him up a bit. I can't remember if the Wily Wars version of Fireman might actually only attack specifically if you attack. So it might be like Crashman, but for shooting.
That's probably a little bit more manageable. All things considered, it's better designed than what currently has.
Yeah. Yeah, but like most of the bosses usually aren't too bad. But usually because by the time, especially doing for like a buster only run, and once you get to 4 through 6, it's like, well, you have a charge buster, so shit becomes a lot less, stressful.
Yeah. And the boss design is just overall less doo-doo.
Yeah. I mean, I think there's like a couple of bosses I still tend to struggle with every now and then if I try Buster only. I know Tomahawk Man usually always kicks my ass.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking of too. Tomahawk Man is not an easy fight because you can stand like in a sweet spot of distance where it's like, yes, you can jump over everything, but like he just has very like fast data, and like if you're expecting him to do one of his ranged attacks and then he just like, fucking like bodies you.
Yeah, the juke short hop. Yeah. I think, funnily enough, I actually think I ended up fighting Tomahawk Man a lot easier when I'm fighting him with just Power Adapter. Because I think hitting him with... Because I think all the Mega Man 6 Robot Masters actually have like a pattern reset if you hit them with Power Adapter.
I've never noticed. I mean, I have done a full Power Adapter playthrough before, but I
know fighting Centaur Man with a Power Adapter makes him like significantly harder.
Huh.
Because he'll just decide like, oh, you punched me? Alright, I'm gonna just immediately walk into you.
Yeah, that's... I think I do actually remember that. That sounds familiar. It's like, oh my god, Centaur Man actually became difficult for once. What the fuck is this?
Yeah, Centaur Man becomes harder.
Got everything.
Nightman, I think I always just fight with Power Adapter just because it's like, well, it's it pierces shield, so of course I'm gonna use it.
Right. It's fun.
Yeah, this looks pretty fun to fight with him. Yamato Man can be kind of funny sometimes to fight with Power Adapter because a lot of the time when he's like he shoots the one spear and he's going to pick it up, you could just keep like keeping him at bay with Power Adapter. He's just like, dude, just let me pick up my fucking spear so I can attack you again. Stop it.
It's you're playing keep away. Mega Man has become the bully.
Yeah, that one's pretty funny. Blizzard Man, I think, usually is about the same. Plant Man's interesting. Plant Man's interesting because I believe he actually does the jump earlier and starts like running at you before he puts up his shield again if you hit him with Power Adapter. So like his pattern completely changes. Flame Man also becomes a lot harder with Power Adapter too. Of course, I realize that's only something that can come up if you're doing the boss rush with him. But yeah, he'll immediately be like, oh, I'll start, doing like the, the straight shot flame attacks, and he'll be like, okay, immediately fire away. Like, okay, but he does not like being punched.
I can't say I would either.
And then Windman, and then Windman is also really hard, but that's less to do with the pattern resetting and more so the fact that you can't slide. So sometimes he'll just like stop really short and just immediately hit you because there's no fucking way you can dodge it.
Yeah, it's a pretty rough situation to be in.
Yeah. To never land a half-charge Power Adapter shot. Well, to be fair, the window to fire off a half-charge Power Adapter shot is incredibly.
Yeah, it's
brief.
very tiny. It's very finicky. All right.
You know what the stupid thing about it is too is that half-charge Power Adapter shots actually do more damage than fully charged Power Adapter shots.
Well, that's news to me. I never knew that.
I don't know why it's like that. It's so weird. But
cool
I
honestly
kind of I just love Power Adapter in 6. It's like...
Yeah. Power Adapter is the sickest adapter. I like it the most.
I wish 6 didn't lean so heavily on both of the adapters when you get to the Wily castles. Like, I wish you can kind of use them a bit more, like, liberally, like, where you want to, as opposed to being like, oh, there's a wall that's too high, gotta use Jet Adapter.
Yeah.
It's like, eh. But, yeah, no, I love messing around with Power Adapter. It's so much fun.
Alright. Speaking of fun, I think good Doom stream. We talked a lot about Doom. It was very good on that aspect. But I don't know. TNT's still all right. Metal was the only stage map here that kind of like gave me a migraine. Everything else was like fine so far. It's solidly Doom. I don't know. It's kind of reminding me of Doom 2, so I'm having fun with Evolution currently. See if that continues on the next stream. But yeah.
Well, the next map, what Nukage processing map 15,
yes.
I actually do really enjoy that. Like, it is big, it is wide open, but I don't know, I really like this one for some reason. Quite enjoyable.
All right. Well, with that glowing praise, I'll be happy to go into it.
Yeah, I also believe we should probably be trying to start getting to the secret maps too, which that should be interesting because they do a lot more off the wall stuff.
Nice.
So that should be fun.
Well, I think with that, yeah, glad you could show up 2D. It was pretty cool to see you here. So
and also just very briefly, nice to see our other resident Doom expert at least show up for at least a little bit amount of time.
Correct. So yeah, thanks everyone for watching. Do all the streamer interact stuff. If you'd like to come to Thursday's bromine chemistry react stream, it'll be there. It'll be a hoot, I promise. That channel is a lot of good shit posting, and I hope that I can also contribute to the humor in some way.
I also believe, well, I guess that's going to be up to you, I guess, but I believe we should also start receiving submissions for community, or at least start to get that underway somewhat soon for community night.
Oh, right, yes. For anybody who's lurking and didn't hear, but we do have a community Discord. Go look at that, and we are planning to do a little community WOD submission night. It's not meant to be making your own. It's meant to be just submitting, fun WODs that you like. Though, with the disclaimer that for this first community night, we're not doing anything too difficult. Like, remember, I'm pre-Plutonia here. You can't really throw the kitchen sink at me. You gotta give me some kid gloves still. So, but we're planning that. I'll thinking about taking submissions next week. So if you want to be a part of that, come join the Discord, make some suggestions, and we'll over the next couple of weeks, we'll gather the submissions, organize them, have the WODs ready, and then we'll do a stream for them. So that ought to be good.
Yeah, I imagine we'll have like a post announcement about Discord and maybe the YouTube channel, I guess, once that's all ready to go at some point.
Yep.
But yeah, as far as submissions go, I believe we're going to try to limit it to at most 2 per person, but if you are planning on submitting, put the one that you want to be played more at the top, and leave the other one, I guess, in case you potentially get to it. But yeah,
I'll put instructions when I actually make an announcement for it in the Discord, so we'll clarify it there too. But I think, yeah, with that, that's stream for tonight. Thanks for showing up, and we'll be back with more Doom next week. So good night, everybody.
Night, tri-state area.
Why not the quad state area?
I don't know. I mean, that's just what the Phineas and Ferb guys always say.
I'm trying to go with an extra thing here. Never mind. Goodbye, everyone.
Night, couple state area.